Enough? stand coming with the spoons and your boy right at the south of bed. Charges on the beat. To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon regulation. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you and know. Let the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Virginia, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat get back, congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You want to get a news update, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibaba, 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 kilibaba. What I want? Yes, what you got today? Spoon TV. Yes, what you got today? Spoon TV. Spoon They always count on Spoon Talk, the beacon of hope, the fountain of authentic information for this dispensation and dispensations to come. Join the team of panelists Mondays through Saturdays, 8 p.m. locally, 4 Eastern Time, and other timings across the world. Tune into our radio services, Spoon 107.5, Fabric 101.1, and Super 95.5. We can also be reached on social media through Facebook or YouTube on Spoon TV, Fabric TV, and Super TV Live. Locally tune in to Super TV Channel 10. Spoon Talk, Spoon Talk, Spoon Talk, setting Liberia's agenda for national growth. When the ordinary Liberians, home and abroad, are seeking a platform to make a clarion call to their leaders for a hygienic political, social, and economical landscape in the motherland, there is one platform that is authentic. They always count on Spoon Talk, the beacon of hope, the fountain of authentic information for this dispensation and dispensations to come. Join the team of panelists Mondays through Saturdays, 8 p.m. locally, 4 Eastern Time, and other timings across the world. Tune into our radio services, Spoon 107.5, Fabric 101.1, and Super 95.5. We can also be reached on social media through Facebook or YouTube on Spoon TV, Fabric TV, and Super TV Live. Locally tune in to Super TV Channel 10. Spoon Talk, Spoon Talk, Spoon Talk, setting Liberia's agenda for national growth.
Yes, I, a special one from
the CEOs, stand coming with the spoons. And your boy, right in the South Bend. Charges on the beat. To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon regulation. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you ain't know. The children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Fonjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat get my congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You want to get a news update, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kiribaba. What I want? This one you got today. Spoon TV. This one you got today. Spoon TV. Spoon. Yes, information. In the South Bend, charging. Yes, I. A special one from the CEOs, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, right in the South Bend, charges on the beat. To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be. They always count on Spoon Talk, the beacon of hope, the fountain of authentic information for this dispensation and dispensations to come. Join the team of panelists Mondays through Saturdays, 8 p.m. locally, 4 Eastern Time, and other timings across the world. Tune into our radio services, Spoon 107.5, Fabric 101.1, and Super 95.5. We can also be reached on social media through Facebook or YouTube on Spoon TV, Fabric TV, and Super TV Live. Locally tune in to Super TV Channel 10. Spoon Talk, setting Liberia's agenda for national growth. When the ordinary Liberians, home and abroad, are seeking a platform to make a clarion call to their leaders for a hygienic, political, social, and economical landscape in the motherland, there is one platform that is authentic. They always count on Spoon Talk, the beacon of hope, the fountain of authentic information for this dispensation and dispensations to come. Join the team of panelists Mondays through Saturdays, 8 p.m. locally, 4 Eastern Time, and other timings across the world. Tune into our radio services, Spoon 107.5, Fabric 101.1, and Super 95.5. We can also be reached on social media through Facebook or YouTube on Spoon TV, Fabric TV, and Super TV Live. Locally tune in to Super TV Channel 10. Spoon Talk, setting Liberia's agenda for national growth.
Yes, a special one from the CEOs, man, coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the South, man. Charges on the people.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you and know. The children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah.
Good evening, Aaron. I'm not
Yeah, good evening, James. Let me say good evening to our listeners out there. It's great to be back on the radio again. After a week, on Wednesday I was here and I'm back here. But we can say welcome to all of our followers and those of you listening to us on the radio, whatever means you're using on Fabric 101.1 FM, Spoon 107.5 FM, Super 95.5, and we are also live on Super TV Channel 10 and on YouTube as well, and all of our online services as well. We'd like to say welcome. As usual, it's going to be fascinating. And let me say welcome to the CEO too as well. Like Rufus will usually say, I like to take the back seat.
Why are you taking the back seat? Why?
Because
your mind drive. Rufus, James, since we collected the mind drive here, they hold the man on, they pull the man on sanction. The man on sanction list, the mind drive here.
Yeah.
We can listen. Leah would go, yeah. When we're picking at it, say Leah would go, forget it. That one gone.
G has been motivating me. He said, "Man, it will come. It will come."
Man, like Christmas Day. when you kind of say, "Well, for next Christmas," we don't talk about it Christmas. We talk about next year Christmas. So Leah would go up again. But God time is a bag. They say keep your finger crossed.
Yeah, I think all about it says I think keep my finger crossed. Yeah.
Keep it. We stick together for life. Keep it crossed. James finished eating that man a long time. James send him the
man refused to send me his number.
Oh, that's a problem. That's a situation. But guys, listen, man. Dr. Richardson. What's that, Dr. Richardson? Where around the head?
It's our hair B.
Laura can see something. Where around the head B?
Yeah.
Kev coming on, so she's prepared.
Yeah, I heard that Kev is moderating today. Can you believe that Kev will be the one asking question? I think Kev going to talk more than ask question though. I wonder what he's about to say. I can bet you it will be on ANC.
But what day will be on? They're not going to talk about President We Are Travel. It will be about commerce.
Yeah, I feel bad. Aaron,
You know,
I
they
feel
are,
it.
they are thinking about what are the
ready myself next week.
Huh?
you'll be forced to use your 2 minutes.
So tomorrow will not be here on Friday. I don't know what will be on Friday, but so since Kev,
Yeah, we'll be here on Friday, but tomorrow is Thanksgiving. There's no show tomorrow.
okay,
Except
so
it's a breaking news. But tomorrow is Thanksgiving, folks.
I'm waiting forward to moderating myself. So let's just
Oh, hey.
Oh, adios. Adios. Yo, Carol, that's the reason says we got kept moderating today. She'll moderate on Friday. We'll turn on with WhatsApp. Now Richard said, if you moderate on Friday, we'll just all say that. We won't say anything because you know what? It will all be, Mr. Come is the man. Mr. Come what you don't want. Mr. Come on, choose your country. Mr. Come So we understand the message. But guys,
so is that how you think I sound to you? Oh my God.
So sometimes when you're getting that Mr. Cummings spirit, people can hear.
With the way you imitate me, like talking like
oh Lord. But it's important to say today, though. Today is the 23rd. You know, certain things I won't be discussing on the show till later on. But I will be discussing some very important issue. What happened today between Liberty Party A and Liberty Party B at the Supreme Court? Liberty Party A is Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence. Liberty Party B is Musa Belete. What happened today at the Supreme Court? We will let you know. I was able to I spoke to both parties, you know, so I will let you know. What happened? What is happening within the ANC Global, ANC Midwest? Somebody giving us feedback. Again, we'll go from yesterday and try to see if. Hello? It's not Dr. Richardson. James, it's you, I believe. Let me mute you. Hello? Hello? Okay, let me see if that's the studio. Let me meet the studio and bring you guys on. Hello? Hello? That's the studio. That's the studio. Aaron Kuban, check on something. You got something going on in there that's not right. Turn everything off, please, and check it. We're getting no feedback from your end.
Okay, let's try that again.
Hello? Yes, we're getting no feedback. Yeah.
Okay. Let me work on it, be back.
Yeah. Work on it. So at the end of the day, I should say this to you. ANC. People want to say, why are you discussing ANC? Something is happening. Disunity. Something is shifting. But what's the moderator for today, man? Don't let me do this. Where's Cap? He announced that he moderating and now he check up.
You're not even on time. That show poor leadership.
That poor, right?
HR, poor leadership. HR down time.
No, but how CDC behave? They leave the country and go on for the 51-day safari.
Maybe you go on a safari, maybe you join them too.
I think so.
Mental safari.
No, I talking about no. Cap. Yeah, but what wrong with Cap? You can't be coming on and you say you're moderating, because if we take control of the show, you will not moderate though. I hope you know that.
You come and do
But
what?
James, welcome the folks, please. Dr. Richardson, can you please?
Sure. So we'll not go in any particular order. We just want to welcome all of you here. It is because of you that we're here. I'd like to welcome Prince Louis, Otaka Kaud. She's Otaka said, I already got my Christmas design. I'm getting ready for the holidays. You're right about that. Mohammed Toure is here. Honorable George Watkins Jr. is here. Patrick Mensa is also here. We'd like to welcome you. Mahawa Sun Foley is also here. Yampu Fene is here. Mimi Tiwia Paul is here. She asked, she said, Kafiko, please come. Henry Passaway is also here. Timo Momo, thank you for joining us. Morris Kennedy is here from GSA Road, Painesville. Lahi Fakaba Duamande. Sorry, oh, that other name that you gotta give. Let me practice. He said, hi, good people. Clarence Benson is here from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Kamara A. Kamara says, hi, Dr. Richardson. Hello, Kamara. Jackson K. Miller says, I'm watching. Elijah is also here. Avishas Kennedy is here. Francis Weir is here. Jeremy Thompson. Mawa Bryant is here. Nakita Wia Roberts. Hello. Otello Yine is also here. Nakamu Grandu is here. Roland Dennis. Ruben Kibe is also here. Shakrag B. Kippa, he's watching from District 10. Abel Sonny Williams watching from Maryland. Leo Pratt is here. Timo, I already said Timo Momo. He says hello already. Samuel Davis is here watching from Ralphfield Highway. I think that's what he wanted to say. Samuel Bala is watching from 19th Street Sinka. I like when all Liberian people watching. It can be nice. Kofa, he said he's watching from Conway, Nimakante. Conway, Nimakante. I think that's how you pronounce it. Isaiah Yama is also here. He said, I'm watching closely. Emmanuel Banja is here. Hi, Emmanuel. How are you? Vera T. Lippens, she's watching from Belgium. Hi, Vera. Welcome, Belgium. Belgium's in the house. Abu Fofana says, Kev, come Dr. Richardson here for you. Don't worry, Abu, don't worry. Dr. Kev and I, we know what we talk, and we may have our political differences, but we are very good in terms of respecting each other and communicating. So don't worry. That's the beauty of democracy. You can have differences, but at the end of the day, you are decent human beings. Charles Russell, Charles, hello. He said Philadelphia says hi. Charles, hello. Jimmy Gray is watching from Bloomington, Minnesota. Lastinian Sherry is watching from Burrillville. Lafala Topagi being watching from Old Road, Morovia in the house, Old Road in the house. Karen, I forgot somebody was watching from Karen Saka is watching from Turkey Drive. Interesting. Did you get a hold of Kev?
Yeah, Kev coming. Kev for getting all his stuff ready because he's moderating today. They were coaching him.
Oh.
I had to call him and make them understand that we can't wait, that the Richardson will be hosting. And he said, no, I can't take that. So let's welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We are pleased to announce to you for the first time, Thanksgiving Eve, 2023, the Honorable, the Information Minister representing CDC on the Spoon Talk, Kev Ahmed Hassan. Honorable Hassan.
Yes, sir.
So I must tell you that you have the floor, sir.
This is historical.
You are the one. You are the one. Definitely. You're the man tonight.
This is historical, right?
And you are moderating. So we turn everything over to you.
Let me go your bar.
You can't. We turn everything over to you.
You tell it. I can't stand it. I go in.
No, seriously, we got some very serious discussion tonight. But we got to talk about the mutability issue. We got to talk about ANC. We got to talk about CDC. And in that note, Kev Hassan, take the throne. I'm going to elevate you, and I'm going to come down. You moderate it.
Thank you, CEO. Thank you.
All the special services Kev is getting, when my time comes, I get it too. I taking notes here. You on high throne.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
No, hang on, James. Yeah, that Kev welcome the folks, man.
Thank you, CEO, for making this platform to give ordinary man like me,
Acceptance speech.
a normal guy, a regular guy, to have an opportunity to, moderate a big platform, and a platform that's going to get bigger every day. So I would say thank you to you, because that's what we need, and that's what some of us advocating in Liberia, to 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 be able to express ourselves without any affiliation. I don't need to know anybody. I'm just a regular Joe that Senator Witherspoon say, "Hey, you're a normal guy. Come and speak." Um, I disagree with Senator Witherspoon, some of his politics. I do, but I believe that he is a Liberian. I believe his heart is in the right place. But I do disagree with some of his politics. I will always disagree. But I believe his heart is in the right place by giving me a regular guy a chance. Uh, and I must say this: this is not the first time that I have moderate spoon talk, but by giving me a chance uh, to let me be me. So I would say thank you, Senator Witherspoon. Dr. Richardson, um, we have our differences, but uh, you my girl. You and your husband are family. Maybe I'm a guy. When Liberia, maybe I hang out most of the time. When
And you
all
can tell me why I did it. I don't know the secret why I did. One day you're bossing.
why AB
There's a
is,
point that you disappear. I didn't know where you were.
yeah, we disappear. AB are my guy. Good day, you the best journalist in town, my brother. You the best. I can tell you that you the best. No matter what people say, people will say this. You the best. Spoon do have the best. My brother in my Kotu is another best. We have a lot of good people there, but we on Spoon not because we agree with each other, but everybody have a vision where Liberia will be, and the voters will decide. The voters will decide. Um, a lot of people will say, "Oh, this." A lot of people will say that. Well, but at the end of the day, Liberia will decide. I can tell you this: Liberia is a good country. When I post about my mother, some opposition people say a lot of good words, including Mariah Yakula. It's a lot of good words. Liberia is a good country. Liberians are good people, and we have to know that. We may disagree on the issues, but we are a good people. When I post, I read a lot of opposition. People say a lot of good things. I will never call Liberia or either the opposition that I would disagree. I would say things, but Liberia is a good country. Liberians are good people, and we will continue to be a good people. So let this show begin. No matter how I attack, no matter what other people attack, but everybody want the best for Liberia, and Liberia will rise again, because Liberia, one of the country in our region, always, always shine. So let's go on. Today, I'm going to say this. Alfonso Davis is a star of Liberia. Alfonso Davis playing for Canada. I take my hat off to him. Yeah, he missed the penalty. Who never missed the penalty? Roberto Baggio of Italy missed penalty. He's a star. I take my hat off to that young boy who was born in the refugee camp and played for the best team in Europe and won the Champions League in Europe, Bayern Munich. He's a star. He is a star, Alfonso Davis. Imagine a normal Liberian parents have a star in Europe. Liberia is a great country, man. I don't care what people say. I don't care we fight war, but we great. And we need to come together and build that country because we have star. Imagine a small country had the world best player in Africa. Small country won the Champions League. Beautiful country. Mama Liberia, we love you. No matter how we fight, but we love you. And we will make Liberia rise again. So let the show begin. Let the show begin. You know. So I can say to you, let me start with my brother Stanton Witherspoon. How it is? How your day? You watch the game? How Liberia? Give your intro.
Thank you very much, Kev. I must appreciate you. Good intro. Let me say this. Shout out to Alfonso Davis. Yes, he missed a penalty, but it's wrong. He represents Liberia. He will do better next time. It is why it is. Shout out to him. We are proud of him. And we wish Canada a success. I will also say thank you very much, Kev Hassan. Very good intro. And I want to say thank you. This is what we need from a Kev Hassan. I know when we get to the issues, moderating a program is difficult, it's hard, but we all will have the chance to do so. So let's the show begin. I'm eager to hear. I want to hear about Musa Bedete, Yomli Kanga Lawrence, Darius DeLong. They appear in court today. I really want to know the outcome. I want to hear about everything happening in Liberia and more. If you got nothing to say, we're going to make up a story. That's me. But I want to say, Dr. Richardson said, why? Well, I want to say thank you. I look forward to a great program.
Dr. Richardson?
Great day here at Spoon. I wasn't here. Maybe I was here when you moderated, but it almost like a historical day for me. It was a good intro, very good intro. And I'm sure it's going to be a great show, like usual. We all have the talent to do this. So I look forward to us agreeing on some things, disagreeing, and for us providing information to the Liberian people. That's why we're here. So let's rock and roll. Just wanted to add from the women's perspective, we're getting ready for Thanksgiving. So I was busy today just preparing my food and stuff like that. So I will let you guys tell me of the soccer game. I didn't get a chance to watch it. So
Yeah, Alfonso Davis. The game is going on. I don't know if the game finished now. Because I know James gone. He's gonna watch the game. And it's the best. It's like a Super Bowl, but this you have different teams are playing in the final, and is the biggest.
yeah, I know the format. Remember, I was a soccer mom, but I just not following today. I've been seasoning food.
But my first thing.
I don't understand when you say you're soccer.
I had two daughters who played
Oh, they
soccer.
play soccer. Okay.
Yeah, so I had to be running around.
I thought AB were playing soccer. That's what you
Actually, I
meant. I'm
coached
sorry.
one of the teams. I had to go to soccer coaching school in
Okay.
the United States.
I thought AB were playing soccer. That's what she meant. But
AB did play soccer. AB plays soccer. AB Noka, Jabo, all the other different people there. I don't know. He into
Soccer.
AB
I'm sorry.
He played for the United States Army when he was.
He played for the United States men's team, the men's soccer team.
No, I didn't say that. You see how you say?
No, I'm not moderating. Kev, take
I
pictures.
can't say that. Show you. I can't because see you already again.
You know, let's kick it off with this. I don't want us to over, go, beyond bounds. But let's look at this. I don't want us to try to overplay politics on this. But I just want us to make sense of this. It just a little touch on yesterday that I wanted to say, and I wanted to ask that question. Maybe people will they say, why are you bringing up CDC? But I want to ask that question because it bothers me. Last night I was thinking of it. Folks saying the president going to Miami. I want us to look at this. We'll go from there. I thought, Dr. Richardson, let me go to you first because you're the female. I thought folks said that the president couldn't go out of 25-mile radius or what is saying, but he going to Miami. What is the why people not focusing and saying that Michael Rubin, who is a trained, a paid lobbyist for Mr. Cummings. He came out and said the president, they stop him at the airport, they say a lot of stuff, and they talk about he's not, he cannot move from New York, but he coming to DC and he going to Miami. Is Michael Rubin sending wards to Liberian and try to play games with the Liberians and lying to the Liberians? Because he did a post and he went out and people were going with it. Matter of fact, Louis Brown came on his show, emphasized on that. Are these people, Dr. Richardson, sending a false signals to Liberian, a false message?
Kev, we had Louis Brown on this show, and you talk about Michael Rubio. I cannot speak for them. You can have your views as to what kind of message they are sending out to the Liberian people, but certainly I cannot speak for those two. And I do think what is important to me is the president's schedule. The fact that, and I think maybe if you want to moderate and take the show in that direction, you the moderator today, we can talk about why the president is out of Liberia for so long. But to get back to your question is these are alternative dates and plan of what the president is doing with his traveling dates. When he goes to Miami, then he would definitely be proven Marco Rubio wrong. So let's wait and see. I don't want to make any kind of announcement or any kind of perception or views about that. Let's wait and see when he gets in Miami. I mean, in New York, it is evidence that he was 25 miles away or within the 25 miles radius. So people had right to question or see that, oh, the president didn't leave New York. He stayed right within that radius. So it made people question that. But on his schedule, it says he'll be in Miami, I think December something, December 4th, he'll be in Miami. Let's wait and see. But Marco Rubio can probably better say his views about that here.
CEO, Dr. Richardson is saying, let's wait and see if the president goes to Miami. Michael Rubin is sending a red meat and saying things to the Liberian people that is not true. If the president goes to Miami, I'm asking you that because I know we beat on. Let me not say we as a network. People question that because we brought people on the show like Louis Brown, who said that the president cannot move. Well, the president going to Miami. The opposition, coming from the end of Mr. Cummings' thing, are they sending false information to muddy the water and saying things that is not right? I'm asking you that, CEO.
Yeah, thank you, Kev. Thank you. Thank you. Good question. Let me say this to you. Welcome to the show, Sadamato Donkey. I think the precedent and sedition shouldn't give in to what the opposition would say when they say the president cannot travel in and around America. He's the president of the Republic of Liberia. We can joke, but let's just be serious for a minute. He has no restriction because he represents a country. With our diplomatic relationship, President George Manawia is not guilty of killing anyone. President George Manawia is not on any sanction restriction. He can travel in and out of Liberia. He can travel in and out of the United States in any state as he sees fit because of that diplomatic relationship. Most recently, Saudi Arabia Crown Prince, the death of journalist Klojowski, I think that's his name. They were giving America a hard time. What did his father do? His father made him a prime minister. As per the United States own doctrine, because he's a prime minister and he represents a country, he have a humility to travel. You cannot restrict him. If you restrict President George Manawia for whatsoever allegation opposition think folks have against George Manawia, you're restricting Liberia. And America should show to the international partners why they are restricting President Weah as he lobbied for his country. So I would say the president shouldn't feed in onto that. The president shouldn't give it any credence. The president, if it is the reason why the president going to Miami, then the president is in error. Just to show off and say, I can go anywhere in America. Duh, you're the president. You know, you cannot just go ahead and say, I would do it because opposition say, I can't. The people need you back home. If you want to go back home, go back home. But just don't say, I am doing this. I'm going to Florida because opposition say, I can't. That's not a good message. And the opposition, likewise, you understand, President George Manawia can travel. There is no document on him that is traveling restriction. There is traveling restriction on him. There's nothing. The State Department never put out any report. The United States Embassy never put out any report. All those things are hearsay. So that's my own 2 cents, Kev. You're muted, Kev.
The reason I brought this out, right, it's just a sidebar to our discussion, just to take that off the discussion. The reason I brought it out because we have a lot of gullible people looking for this stuff because it's not the first time. 4 years ago, they said the same thing. And now they continue to say the same thing. That's the reason why I brought this out for us to understand. And you're right, Center. The person is not under any other sanction or anything. He's the president. He feel free to go wherever he wants to go. But because of the global society we find ourselves, people. It's surprising to me to see Louis Brown is making that a statement about the president's location. He cannot do some of these things. So I'm glad a caliber like you, Stanton Witherspoon, make it clear that the president can go wherever he want to go. Lay that to rest that people should stop pushing and all that, so we can put that. But one of the things I want to discuss about CEO that is pressing to me and we need to talk about that. Sometimes we brush on it, but we just skip it and we go. It's about the idea of when you on the Magnitsky Act, people say a lot of things. It's saying that you don't say hi to somebody on Magnitsky Act. They misinterpret doing business with people what the Americans are saying, and people running around. And I want to go to you. I'm sorry, Dr. Richardson. I want to go to Stanton Waterspoon on this. If you, so I'm going to ask you this: if you own the Magnitsky Act, Stanton Waterspoon, because I want us to play that. I hope James have that in view. If you own the Magnitsky Act, are you completely in Liberia isolated that even you cannot buy pepper to the market woman, or you cannot say anything, you cannot have a phone call. Dr. Richardson cannot say hi to Prince Johnson, McGill, or Stephens. Is the Magnitsky Act is interfering with the our constitution? I'm asking you, Senator Waterspoon, and before I go, can we have that tape play of the Magnitsky Act? What the Americans saying, so we can go into that.
So, do you want me to answer, or you want to listen to the clip?
Basically, yeah, I want to listen to the clip and then you answer.
Okay, you can call James.
James, James, are you hearing us?
Just a couple.
Okay.
Just a couple points that I'll make, and I'll turn it over to Kemper. Just for callers' information, these designations they come from a law that was passed in the United States, and so this is not under international law or any other country's law. So the designations, Global Magnitsky Act of 2017, this is under U.S. law. My colleague mentioned before there is a process for delisting, but again, this is not a criminal prosecution. This is not a criminal procedure. It's not a court of law, but there is a procedure in place if people do want to contest, the designation. In terms, I'll just briefly address the election question, because again, as a sovereign nation and as a democracy, Liberia makes its own decisions about, who is eligible to run in elections. The United States does not have any say in that process. So these designations, Global Magnitsky, don't have anything to do with elections. And then I think there was.
Okay. We get that. I want you to touch on that part. Liberia makes its own decision, meaning that Liberia do have a constitution, do have a law. I want you to touch on that part, CEO.
Okay, so saying you want me to go for it, I really don't want to. I really don't want to discuss this Magnitsky Act because I'm trying to bring in folks that will help us understand, Liberians understand. But okay, yes, thank you. Let's mute. But if we should go back, to what the gentleman said, it is important to know that Magnitsky Act. Folks that are on a sanction today, the 5 individuals, Serena Seaforth, Prince Johnson, Vanna Sherman, Nathaniel McGill, Bill Twawe, those 5 individuals, they are all Liberians. They are Liberians. Somebody in Liberia have a relationship and ties with them. There's nothing since I've been researching, reading the Magnitsky Act would tell me that I cannot say hi to Kev because he's on sanction. There's nothing. I've not seen it. And I think we discussed it here on the show. There's nothing. There is nothing from me to say that these are enemies of the cross. They have crucified Jesus Christ. They should be condemned. Even Jesus Christ said, go and sin no more. The Magnitsky Act is America's way of saying, you got a bad behavior, you are corrupt, don't come to our country. You did stuff internationally, we got to call you out and we'll not do business with you. And if anyone doing business with you, business, money transaction, business that will carry American currency, that person will be in trouble. And the gentleman was very clear on the show. So my guest sister shouldn't call my girl and say, how you doing, my girl? My gay friends shouldn't visit my girl. There is nothing under the Magnitsky Act that will stop you from visiting someone that is on sanction. We need to start making the folks afraid. But business engagement, transaction, then now you are talking. So nobody should be afraid to see Beto and say, hey, Beto, how you doing? How's your family? No one should be afraid to eat with Beto. No one should be afraid to say, Cephas, what's up? Let's have lunch at Boulevard Palace. They were doing it before. These people, they are Liberians. They're born in Liberia. They grew up in Liberia. They have families and friends. But if you are engaged in doing business with them, if you are engaged in transacting with them, representing the government or they represent the government or business that will involve American interest, then you are in trouble. That's why I don't want to say it. I'm asking, and we are put in a court, made a request that again they will appear on Spoon and they will clarify these things. And that's my point, Kev. I hate to discuss the Magnitsky Act, but the Magnitsky Act don't say you must call it Chemlin. Let's put it in a very simple way, in Liberian way. Don't call it Chemlin from them. But they are saying don't transact business that runs UN currency with them. If I'm in error, we all here to make full correction. If anyone know better on this Magnitsky Act than what I just said, please correct me. But there will be no way Magnitsky Act putting sanction on any individual and say that person get COVID, stay away from them. Don't talk to them. That's a lie. So I understand. Thank you, Kevin.
I want to stick with you. Sorry, God. Welcome, Moray Pula. Welcome, Dr. Peabody. I want to stick with you on this. You're saying that Magnitsky Act is not a COVID. I want to make it clear to people why Washington Witherspoon saying that when you have a COVID, there's a restriction that you should keep away because it's contagious. And you're saying that Magnitsky Act is not contagious. So I want to speak with you on this. So are you saying that if folks who honor Magnitsky Act can exercise the right to contest in our election, they do have the right under our law in Liberia that Magnitsky Act, because what I'm getting for you, I think you're going to Article 2, that you cannot, no other law. So are you that's what are you alluding to, saying that if you're a Liberian, you're covered by the Constitution of Liberia, that nobody can stop you from running, nobody can stop you from campaigning.
Okay, so I'm sorry to cut the question out because again, I don't want to dwell on this Magnitsky Act, but I will answer you because you moderate. Let me say this: it's not from Stanton. Let's go back to what the gentleman said on OKFM. He answered that question, Kev, and I think we discussed it, and we all understand it very well. There's nothing as per the Liberia Constitution. So when American put you on Magnitsky Act, do not contest. The gentleman said this is about America. Liberia is a sovereign nation. So let's listen to what he said. And we hope folks out there can understand and we can conclude on this thing. If you have your moral and your ethical question as to because you've been informed, they say you are corrupt and you're unsanctioned, that's political spin. That should be political discussion. And let the politician discuss it. But the politician will not come out to say, yes, it's the Constitution. Kev Hassan do not run because you are under sanction. But it's a good spin for opposition. It's a good spin for politician. And they will exercise that because it will be relevant. But this is what the young man said. And I hope he allow us to play this. Let's hear it
Yes.
from a man from the embassy, not from Stanton.
Just a couple points that I'll make, and I'll turn it over to Kemper. Just for callers' information, these designations, they come from a law that was passed in the United States, and so this is not under international law or any other country's law. So the designations, Global Magnitsky Act of 2017, this is under U.S. law. My colleague mentioned before there is a process for delisting, but again, this is not a criminal prosecution. This is not a criminal procedure. It's not a court of law, but there is a procedure in place if people do want to contest, the designation. In terms, I'll just briefly address the election question, because again, as a sovereign nation and as a democracy, Liberia makes its own decisions about, who is eligible to run in elections. The United States does not have any say in that process. So these designations, Global Magnitsky, don't have anything to do with elections. And then I think there was.
Seal.
And let me, because the other people got to come in now. Let me.
Guys, I'm sorry. The reason I want to stick with CEO because he was going. He said it's not a criminal allegation. He said it is a process for delisting. He said America don't have any say in Liberia law. He said all those things. I want you today to explain to the Liberian people that the Magnitsky Act is not, and I repeat, in our law, in our constitution, it don't hold water. That folks, until our law indict those people, the Magnitsky Act is based on America. That those on the Magnitsky Act there's no crime in Liberia they commit. I just want you to explain to that based on what we listened to.
Well, Kev, I don't think so though. I mean, we understood what he said, but I really don't think that's what he meant. Liberia have a relationship with America, but to say because if we talk about the election, it's a different thing, and that should be very clear. But if America think and believe folks are corrupt, and they came down with the Magnitsky Act, it is important for the Liberian government to carry on their investigation. But we cannot say because it is America, therefore it holds no water on Liberia. No, it does. If anyone, that the American government come back on the 9th of December and put 4 or 5 individuals on sanction, I double dare you and I guarantee you, President George Manawia will exercise his right to suspend them and remove them from the government. Because America is your biggest partner, and if America do this thing, they got enough evidence to put Peter John on sanction and give Peter John a room for delisting to convince both America and Liberia that your allegation against me is false. And here are my proofs. And then, guess what? If America see that you are genuine and what you said is true, they're going to go ahead. Who's doing this? they're going to go ahead to, guess what, to move ahead, and they'll go ahead and say, you know what, we'll delist you. That would be the best thing ever. We cannot sit here and just say it's only America. But the portion about election is very clear. These people, as per the Liberia Constitution, they can contest. But we shouldn't take the Magnitsky Act for the joke and say, oh yes, it's
You
just
see,
America and Liberia should have nothing.
so you are saying the Magnitsky Act by America is serious, but Liberia do have a constitution. Dr. Richardson, let me get to the same question to you. Is the Magnitsky Act in Liberia? What we hear from the ambassador, the American, based on what CEO is saying, do you think the Magnitsky Act will is so powerful that folks who under the Magnitsky Act doesn't have the right in Liberia?
I do believe that the Magnitsky Act is powerful. I will not want to minimize it. I don't want anyone to be fooled that it is not powerful and cannot impact Liberia's foreign relationship with the world or with the United States. The act says that we are going to penalize, we are going to sanction those who violate human rights. That's the first thing they say. It says that they can freeze the assets of those who violate human rights or even violate um, economic crime laws in Liberia. And it also says that they will stop you from coming to this country, as Satan already have said. What makes it even more important to me, and which makes it even stronger in Liberia, is that we have two currency. We work in United States dollar and we work in Liberian dollar. When you are running to be an elected person, you have to transact business. The law says transacting certain businesses in Liberia, okay? You have to use whether you're using Liberian. This is what my concerns are. It may not, they can answer these questions, but my concern is you have to use Liberian dollar or either American dollars to actually file your application. You will be transacting business, and that has to be clarified. Is that business considered the kind of business that is not supposed to be transacted under the Magnitsky Act? Number two, when you are running, you have to buy portfolios. You have to buy things to publicize your campaign. You have to order T-shirts. You have to, which is another business transaction. You have to have a billboard. How are you going to do all of those things? Those are things that we need clarification on. So I'm not going to sit here and take it lightly and say, oh, the Magnitsky Act might not impact those that are listed on that act. It is a very serious act to me because I have listed at least 2 or 3 businesses that you have to transact. The law says certain businesses. We're not sure what those businesses are, and we'll get clarification. Like Stanton said, he's reaching out to people at the embassy. They need to clarify that. Yes, Liberia deserves the right as a serving nation to elect their own people, their own leaders. On the other hand, they don't have the right to say, I can only use uh, certain amount of one type of money. If you're using United States dollar to transact business, you are actually doing business that is connected to the United States. Because we have to, except you don't do all your business in Liberian dollars, and I don't know how that's going to happen. You can do that too, but as long as you involving the American government money, it remains questionable.
Uh, Mariah, because Mariah do have expertise on legal issues in Liberia. That's what she studied. That's a position. And so, let me ask you this, Mariah, and again, welcome to the show. Let me ask you this. They talk about doing business with sanction individual. We know that uh, your political leader and uh, did business with Mr. Cummings. When I say with Mr. Prince Johnson, giving him $25,000 for his project. And Prince Johnson stated on our show that he asked him for his support and he declined. Prince Johnson said that. If we're talking about doing business with sanctioned people or people who under that cloud, and then Mr. Cummings did business with Senator Prince Johnson and that maybe folks will say, no, it's not business, it's just give, but you gave $25,000. So I'm asking, and I'm also asking you this again, as a legal practitioner, Prince Johnson and others who are unsanctioned, like Vanny Sherman, do business. They get paid by the government. They get paid through the legal system, legal financial system. I want you, Mariah, to talk about that. How can the U.S. government reconcile with that? That Mr. Cummings gave $25,000 to Prince Johnson. Prince Johnson is getting paid. Vanny Sherman is getting paid by the legal institution, a financial institution. As a legal practitioner, can you help educate our people based on that?
Thank you, Kev. First things first, let me clarify the misinformation and lies. One, Mr. Cummings has not asked Prince Johnson to support him. That is inaccurate. Two, Mr. Cummings' contribution to Prince Johnson's university. Excuse me.
Stanton, can you take over? I want to do something quick. CEO, can you take over? Do something.
You can go do it, but you still listen. Mr. Cummings' contribution to Prince Johnson's university was for the youth and the people of Nima County. And this was in 2016, long before Magnitsky Act or sanctions came into being. So let's clarify that Mr. Cummings is not doing business with Senator Prince Johnson after he's been sanctioned. And I know you intentionally crafted your question in that way to mislead and lie to the Liberian people. So let's clarify it first. Now to the issue of Magnitsky and doing business with sanctioned officials. I listened to Stanton, and you mentioned, Magnitsky is not saying don't visit people, don't, call people who's been sanctioned and all of that stuff. And I agree with you. But when someone steals from you, breaks into your house, takes your prized possession from behind your back, steals from you, and it affects you negatively, you don't celebrate them. You don't wine and dine with them. You hold them accountable. You expect the laws to hold them accountable. And the same applies to public officials who steal from us as a people and as a country. Unfortunately, these are the people we celebrate. These are the people we support. These are the people we put on a pedestal. And when the government refuses to hold these people accountable, as this government has failed to do, that's where the Magnitsky Act comes in. Public corruption, it clearly states that these people have been sanctioned for public corruption. When your government fails to hold corrupt officials accountable, the US government steps in to say, not under our watch, especially as one of your biggest donors and partners, especially as one of your developmental partners, especially as your traditional ally. This will not happen under our watch. Even when you fail to hold your officials accountable, we're going to step in, because it's not going to be done with our currency. It's not going to be done on our soil. When you will not bring your corrupt money to the United States, you will not enjoy the fruits of your corruption on our land. And anyone doing business with you to perpetuate this public corruption will be sanctioned as well. That's basically what they're saying. Now your country, in this case Liberia, can decide
Whether they want to persecute you, investigate and persecute you, they can decide what to do with you. But the United States has already said, we're not going to condone this because we have sufficient evidence, credible evidence from multi-party institutions to show that you are corrupt and you have squandered, you have stolen public monies. Clear. There's no issue about it when it comes to the US's position on the issue of public corruption of these officials who were sanctioned, and they stand by it. Unfortunately, our government in our country and our president has refused to take any further steps since they announced the investigation. They refused to take any further steps in prosecuting these people for them to face the law. Of course, there is no law on our books currently that stops sanctioned officials from contesting in elections. The laws we have on our book currently prohibits convicted felons from taking their seats, even when elected seats. And we saw that the case with Brown and Samakai. However, when you elect someone to public office, you're giving them access to public money. You're giving them access to budget. You're giving them access to taxpayers' money. What sense does it make to now allow people who've stolen public monies to now be elected or contested to sit in positions of authority where they also have access to more public monies? So as a people and as a country, this is why it is important for any serious government to now investigate and prosecute these people who've been sanctioned for public corruption so that it fits the law. But this government will not do it because they know that given the magnitude of the evidence, these people will be found guilty. And when they're found guilty, they become convicted felons and they can no longer take their elected seats even when elected. So the president, in essence, is protecting the McGills of the world, the Bill Torres of the world, because he knows when he prosecutes them and they're found guilty, even they can go run for whichever senator position or whichever representative, whichever presidential position, they will not take the seats because the law prohibits convicted felons from taking their seats. What the legislature then needs to do in this case is to see how they can amend the elections law to include sanctioned officials from not taking their seats, just as we've included convicted felons. The citizens, as a people, we can also petition our lawmakers, our representatives, our senators, the legislature to say, let's amend the new elections law to include sanctioned officials. Because if we leave this with the president and the executive to take action and prosecute these people, we will never do it. And so these people will now be allowed to get elected or to run in an election and get elected and then put them in charge of public monies when they've already been sanctioned for corruption of public money. What sense does it make?
Okay, CEO, before I come to you, but maybe you want to say something before I ask that.
Yeah, I have a question. I beg you, it's very, very important. I want to ask Mariah a question.
Okay.
Can I, please?
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Thank you. So, Mariah, again, I thank God that you did law. So, my question, are they convicted? Those that are unsanctioned, are they convicted?
That's why I said they're not, because they haven't been persecuted.
So I understand. Thank you for saying they are not. My next question, should Liberians, and I mean Liberians, family members, friends, associate themselves with those that are unsanctioned? I'm not talking about the government. I'm talking about individual Liberians.
Whether you're a family member, whether you're an individual Liberian, whether you're a friend, whether you're a student, whether you're a mentee, whoever you are, you should not be doing business with these sanctioned
My
officials.
question is association, not business. Because I was very clear when I said do not transact, do not do any business that will involve, they say, the United States dollars, their currency. My question to you, not business, should they associate themselves? Should they meet them in restaurant, eat with them, chat with them, go to the ball game with them? Is it a crime? Is it part of the Magnitsky Act that you shouldn't do so, Liberians? Can you be very clear?
Of course, it's not a crime to speak to your family member or to hang out with your family member. Association is a very broad word. Association can be doing business with them. Association can be not doing business with them.
But
So
I said don't do business. I said association.
okay,
Church
so but
service.
my point is, I don't think any Magnitsky Act or any sanction for that matter, even those who are convicted felons, their family people still associated with them.
So
So
then why
there's
are we? So then
stops
why are we?
anybody
I beg you, let me ask Mariah on my question because when she was speaking,
from
it's
speaking
very
to them.
important. When she was speaking, I was writing my question. So let me ask her again. So then why are we saying, and I think the gentleman that visited OK FM, he was very clear. This is America. Those folks that play some Magnitsky Act, they are not convicted. They are not. And
Of course
thank
they're
you for clarifying it. How then should the government of Liberia, or I will ask you this question, let's talk about the evidence. Who should provide evidence for persecution?
The
Right.
government should request the evidence.
No, it's not who should request. I said who should provide evidence for persecution?
The government.
Who government?
The Liberian government.
The Liberian government should provide evidence for persecution?
Yes. What do we prosecute them on? Yes,
No, but hold on, Mariah. Who accusing
the
them?
government gets the evidence. So let me
Mariah,
explain that. You
so
ask.
Mariah, no. Let me ask my question again, like you always
Okay,
do,
ask the
for the
question
people
again.
don't understand. Who should provide evidence for persecution?
The one who is persecuting the Liberian government. The persecutor provides evidence.
Requesting the evidence from who? Who is accusing those folks and placing them
It
on
doesn't
sanctions?
matter where they take the evidence from.
No. Who is accusing them? Who is accusing them, Mariah? Who said, I have evidence that my guild, Bill 12, Van Sherman, PYJ, they are all corrupt, they are all criminal. We will put them on Magnitsky Act. Right now, before discovery, who holds those evidence?
So
The
Stanton,
evidence is in who possession right now?
So Stanton, let me break this down for you and for the people listening. If you witness a murder and you went to the police station and say, I witnessed John Brown murdering Peter Paul, who persecutes? That you who witnessed the murder and got maybe video recording or evidence or not? No. It's the government, it's the state that persecutes. And the state would then bring you in and take the evidence that you have to use it to persecute. It's the same thing. Whoever is persecuting will have to provide the evidence. Where you take that evidence from, you can take it from eyewitnesses, you can take it from investigative bodies, you can take it from police reports, whichever way. But if someone saw a murder take place and they went to the police and said, we saw Mariah or John Brown killing this person, and I have evidence to that effect, that the person who go to the police will go prosecute?
So, Mariah, I would say ask my question the best way and the simple way possible. Right now, who have the evidence in their possession right now?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't
you
know.
don't know.
Yes,
Oh,
because
you don't
I
know.
don't know.
But you just gave us an example. But no, you answer that. Let me go ahead.
No, but you're asking the question. Let me conclude. The
Go ahead.
reason I don't know at this point is I don't know if the government has requested the evidence from the U.S. government and they have it in their possession and doing nothing about it. I don't know that. We don't know that. You don't know that. So I can tell you who in whose possession the evidence is. Unless you can tell me that this government has requested the evidence from the U.S. government and they haven't gotten it. But I don't know that. So I don't know who's on the evidence is in, because the government can have the evidence in their possession and still not prosecute.
So, Mr. Moderator, let me say this, and let me be very, very clear. It's a good political spin from Mariah.
No, it is not. It's a legal issue.
Mr. Mariah, let me speak now. Kev, who's speaking? Kev, can I be recognized and be protected, please? I want to finish my. Let me finish what I want to say.
You're becoming Mariah.
Yeah. And no, Mariah, I'll let yo. Mariah finish talking. I'm talking now. Then we gotta move on. You can't go back to Mariah again.
Oh, but if you say
on this show, Moderator, I will like yo. I got a couple of points. You can bring her in.
I want you to get your points. I want Mariah to answer. I will.
So you gave Mariah the last word, yeah?
Yes, I'll do. I do.
Okay. So let me say this, and I think Mariah is doing a beautiful spin as an opposition politician. It's beautiful. I think Mariah, when she left Liberia, attended one of the best school here in America. She is it because you know what? As an opposition and a lawyer, she will serve as a good defense lawyer. No matter what you do, you go up, you come down, you get evidence. Mariah said, no, that's not him. It's on CC camera. Mariah said, that's not him because she represents your interests. And that's what Mariah doing on the show today. Who accused those and who put the guys on sanction? It was America. And that's a powerful sanction, a very powerful one. Do we believe that America have evidence to show that these guys were corrupt? Yes, we do. Can they prove it? 100%, because this is the greatest nation on earth. They can prove it. When I asked Mariah, who has the evidence? Mariah said, well, it's the government. Maybe the government should ask. No, I didn't say that. I said who possesses the evidence right now? Who should the government be requesting those evidence from? They should be asking America. So when America gives the evidence, then the country, the government will persecute. Then the government will persecute. The government cannot persecute blindly. They must have something in their hand. The government having the evidence now? I don't know. Have they requested? We need to ask Mossadegh and the foreign ministry. I don't know. But I think right now, just to end on this, the association aspect, that all you can call Serena Seafors and say, what's up, how your family, how you're doing, it's okay. The point to say, oh, you cannot contest in the election. The representative from the embassy said, this is not about anyone contesting in the election. This is not about anyone contesting in the election. Liberia is a sovereign state. They can contest in the election. It's up to Liberian. So when the opposition making that spin, I respect them because it's election season and it's a damn good spin to make. Some folks will buy it. But guys, I must tell you this. Do not stay away when you used to meet these guys up Boulevard Palace. You'll have lunch, you'll eat. Do it if you want to do it. Do not do any business transaction with them. It's very clear. It's very clear. To say what's up to them. I think that we should tell all Liberians, they are not wolf. They are not the devil in the bush. They are Liberian like you and myself. If they are found guilty, the law would be the law. And we hope we can reach that day. Whether they will exonerate them or they will be found guilty, we hope we can meet and we can see that day that the law will apply equally. And I rest my case, Mr. Moderator. And you know, I think people that are on the opposition, I would say this, like my good friend Claude Johnson says, CEO have understanding issue. That's his own view. The way I understand and way I read stuff is different for him. Somebody said black and CEO. I'm not going to black him. The man expressing himself. I'm not going to do that. But it's just good to say we need to move on. That's my own understanding. Now, if you bring in the Anthony Yakula, it means to say you're not being fair to me, but you're moderating today. So you're moderating today. I don't think you got to go back to Anthony Yakula.
No,
No, you shouldn't go back. You shouldn't go back to you. I don't think
you
so.
want me to address the things that you
But you
said.
see, you see, I'm a fair guy. I believe in when you say something, the other folks need to uh, answer. I'm a fair guy on that. That's why and I'm moderating tonight. I'm going to give Mariah a chance. But let me say one of two things. Mariah asked a question. I think it's a very, very good question about if the government requested for the allegation that the Americans put on the sanctioned individual. I would tell you this, she gone, but I would say this to people. Mariah, I wish you can come back. I want to ask you this question. You know, they accuse uh, the sanctioned individual of corruption, seems to me as a legal practitioner, you accuse, you have the evidence. I will say this to you: the government did ask for evidence. The evidence is in mid-air. Up to now, the government don't have the evidence. I will ask you this, Anthony and Yakula. If you don't have evidence as a legal practitioner, can you prosecute based on what they're saying, or will you prosecute on the evidence? Because I can confirm to you there is a single evidence from the partners. I'm asking you now, today, can the government prosecute on incident or on act that they don't have evidence? Can they prosecute?
So help me understand. You said they've requested the evidence from the U.S. government. They haven't gotten it.
No
Is that what
evidence. I can confirm that. No evidence.
they requested it and they haven't gotten it?
Nothing. Nothing else. I can tell you that. So can you
So
explain? Can
I
you,
found
as
that.
a legal practitioner,
Let me answer the question now.
as a legal practitioner right now?
But Kev, I beg you 1 minute. I think Mariah asked a good question because this will be a breaking news. So
Exactly.
let's be very, very.
Yeah. But let me
hold on,
moderate.
Kev, hold on 1 minute. I know you're moderating, but this is what makes phone talk interesting. If you speak like you said yesterday, you represent the government almost 80% on this show, unlike anyone else. Are you confirming that the Liberian government requested for this sanction document and they have not received it?
The government of Liberia have not received a single information.
Have they requested for the
Yes, sir.
document and they
Yes.
have not received it?
Yes, yes, sir.
All right.
So-
wait, Mariah, wait. The Liberian government, as a legal practitioner, as I speak to you, I'm not saying tomorrow, as I speak to you today, and let me repeat, because Liberian people are something else. As I speak to you today, there is no single evidence to show anything. Matter of fact,
No,
the
Kev,
sanction.
I beg you, Kev, hey, but I know that you moderator, I beg you, my man. You can be moderating and be explaining plenty. You'll make us to lose our focus. What you just said is so interesting. Give us chance to digest it. Don't go around again.
Yeah, I
that's
know.
what you're a moderator for. You bring a topic which is very interesting. Give us chance to argue it. I beg you. This, what you just said, that's what people been waiting for. If you say for a fact, Liberia government have requested those documents and they have not received it, let's discuss it before we move on, please. Can you
But that's
please
what
allow us?
that's what I'm going to. That's what I'm going
Because
to. You're quite
next,
correct, Mariah. Mariah, please, you're quite correct, CEO. And that's why I'm asking Mariah that as a legal practitioner, if you request information and don't have the information, can you prosecute?
So first, let me say that it is, like status said, whether it's breaking news, but it is very surprising. I mean, first of all, we know that there's evidence because the U.S. government's Magnitsky sanction is based on evidence, evidentiary documentation is based on investigation done by interagencies, the FBI, CIA, all of the U.S.'s security apparatus over a period of months and several months. So we know that the U.S. government has evidence for the sanctions that they brought. But it is quite surprising that you would say that the government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Justice, the Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia, who's acting in the absence of the president, Minister Musa Dane, has requested the U.S. government for evidence to assist in prosecuting these sanctioned officials, and they have not received the evidence yet. Can you go further to let us know when this request was made, since you're speaking on behalf of the government?
I can tell you this.
Okay.
I can tell you this. There is no evidence.
Okay.
wait,
All right,
Mariah.
get him chance. It's very important that we get this clear.
Mariah,
Please get him chance.
I agree with you. This is important because you know why I agree with you, CEO. This is important because a lot of people around saying, why the government is not prosecuting? Why they not prosecuting? As a legal practitioner like Mariah, I want her to explain to the Liberian people. Stop saying, "Oh, when they ask, I'm telling you," and I'm asking you this question:
So,
if you don't have evidence, can you prosecute? I want you to explain that instead of saying, "Oh, where is the date? Where is that?" I'm asking you this: can you prosecute without evidence? As a legal practitioner, Mariah, you're a very
but
smart lady. Can you answer that
let me
question? Pivot.
speak now. I'm not pivoting. You give information that I'm trying to verify. So I ask you, when did they request it? You should be able to tell us. They requested it last month, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, whenever it is. You should, because you have the information that was requested. You should be able to tell us when it was requested. And I think that's information that when people need to know. But onto the issue of the sanctions and the persecution. Like I said earlier, if you saw someone killing another person, and you went to the police station, and I wanted to state this for the record because Stanton had mentioned it, and you went to the police station and told them, I just saw John Brown killing a lady or a man, who will persecute? It is the state, the persecutor. Now you who have the evidence in your possession, because the state or the prosecutor can now request that evidence from you and use it or do their own investigation. So there are two ways you can get the evidence. You can either get the evidence from either the eyewitness, from a whistleblower, from someone who's brought the complaint or giving you the information
Mariah,
ahead of the crime
Mariah,
committed. Let me conclude.
yeah, I
Or
want to bring
the
people
state
in
or
Dr.
the
Richardson.
state
He said too
or
long.
no, but I'm still on now. Or the
Yeah.
state do their own investigation based on the information they've received. And through that investigation, they can also get their own evidence. Of course, you cannot go to court without evidence to substantiate your claims. Even if you have whatever evidence you have, it does not speak directly to the claims that you have. So, for example, if you go in to prosecute someone for murder, your evidence has to be able to prove murder. It can prove manslaughter or it can prove negligent homicide. So, even if you have evidence and it can prove the cause of action or the claim against the crime as alleged, then even that evidence is not just enough to support your case, right? In this case, we cannot say that the U.S. government should be the one to prosecute because they did the investigation and have the evidence. We cannot say that. The government of Liberia is the one who persecutes, and the government can persecute two ways. They can request the evidence from the U.S. government, or they can do their own investigation and get your own evidence to prosecute. So either way, it's still, the buck still stops at the feet of the Liberian government. And that's not something we should shift. We're not shifting
Okay.
it to the U.S. government. We're not
Okay.
shifting it to anybody
Okay.
but the
Got
Liberian
you.
government.
I got you. Let's move on. You know, because I have some other news to break. Well, let us wrap this up from Dr. Peabody and Dr. Richardson. Dr. Peabody, can I walk in a court in America and say Dr. Peabody stole my money, and they prosecute Dr. Peabody based on the evidence? I'm asking you this, Dr. Peabody. It work in this country that we live in?
Walk. I don't know what I can interpret
I'm
this.
saying, can I go
You
to the
said-
USA court and say Dr. Peabody stole my money, and they prosecute you and they send you to jail? Can that
Well,
happen?
then I will pivot to the case against Mr. Cummings because somebody just wanted the kid court and say he signed a paper and will evidently issue a warrant for his arrest and all of that. But let me say that I don't understand that. There's no way in America people can walk to the court. I'm not a lawyer, but there's no way you can just walk to the court and tell somebody that this man stole your money. You say I stole your money. I said no. What happens? I think I don't understand that question. I don't understand that.
Okay, good. Same question to you. I just want to brush up and move to a second topic. Dr. Richardson, and I know you you did some legal issues then before. Can I work and use Dr. Richardson on something and the code act? Can I do that?
Kev, just to make one clarification, you said that you have evidence that the United States, that the Liberian government asked for proof that these three officials committed some kind of crime, or you have evidence for that? You said. I just wanted to make sure that I heard what you said.
Again, repeat what you said.
You said that you have evidence that the Liberian government requested proof from the United States government to substantiate the fact that they put these people on the Magnitsky Act.
I said, yeah, there is
You
no,
said that.
there's
I'm
no
just
evidence.
surprised that if the Liberian government had proof and wrote a letter to
No
the American
evidence.
government asking them for, because we're talking about the issue of proof to go to court. That's why your question is being
There's
that
no evidence. There's no evidence being given to the.
there's no evidence. And if that was the case, I'm just surprised that they have not even spoken to the
I'm
Liberian
surprised
people
that too.
about that evidence. I would think that the government would outline, especially when they suspended these three officials from their offices. I would think that they would come back to the Liberian people and communicate with them and outline, saying that we are waiting. These guys are suspended, but we are waiting for proof that we asked the American government to submit to us, and they have not done that. And furthermore, I think you can go to the Magnitsky Act, and it says plainly here that these people are put on these acts because, number one, it says McGill. I'll just give you a few thoughts on that. They say McGill, during his tenure in government, during the time that he worked in government, he bribed business owners. Number one, received bribes from potential investors. Number two, and accepted kickbacks for steering contracts to company in which he had an interest. So those are things that if we really wanted to follow through, and the Liberian government really wanted to substantiate those claims, they could do that very easily. Let's move on to Serena Seifert. This is what they charge him with. They said that he developed close relationships. He became friends, for the Liberian people who were listening. He became friends with people who were suspected of crime, and he received bribes from individuals in exchange for having their cases dropped. So Serena Seifert is our chief solicitor here in the court system. They say he was receiving bribes from people to get their case dropped. And he was also he established some kind of arrangement with people who were involved in money laundering. Those are things to me, and I think if people who are in the legal field and in investigating, they can figure that out. Bill Trari is they said as managing director of the port, he secretly formed a private company to which, through his position at the NPA, he unilaterally awarded contract for loading and unloading cargo at the port of
Okay,
individual at the port of Canada.
yeah,
So these are, again, we actually had someone on our show, Charles. I forgot. I think Gall. Charles Gall was on our show. He actually was complaining and saying that Bill Trowey did these things at the port of Buchanan. So they have the evidence right in Liberia.
Okay, let's move on, Dr. Richardson. Let's move on, Dr. Richardson.
Okay, ask me the question now.
We'll leave that. Listen, I want us to move on from that. I have a question to put to you, Moriah.
No, I beg you, ask me the question about walking in.
No, Moriah. I want to ask my
I've been waiting.
We moderated show you can talk about that. But let's move on.
But Kev, can I ask one question, please? I want to ask Dr. Richardson. I beg you, let me ask this question to Dr. Richardson real quick.
Because yes, you can walk into a court to a judge.
But let me, Kev, can I ask my question, Kev?
People listening, they won't learn.
But I want to ask the same question because I want to learn too. Dr. Richardson, let me ask you 1 minute though. Do you really think everything you know, and maybe Moriah you can answer to, do you really think the American would send those hard evidence with folks' names on them? When they were investigating Donald Trump, Robert Mueller investigating Donald Trump, folks were afraid because it involved people. Somebody may call the name Joseph. The name may appear on paper. Do you think that the American, all the evidence that involve real people, people that tell, do you think they're actually going to give those documents over to Liberia, to the Liberian government for
So,
just to prosecute and those people life be in danger? Do you think that will happen? It's just a question though.
so let me just, I've lived in this country long enough to tell you that the Americans, they keep receipt. They document things, okay? So that's how they work. No matter how long it takes them to, substantiate a crime, they follow through. So if your question is, do I really think that they're just going to give you one piece of paper?
No, it's not a question. I'm looking
Okay.
at the human factor now.
Uh-huh.
If you go ahead and you have like Peter's name on that document, Paul, and those people are working within the government today, do you think America will be so comfortable to turn those documents over to the Liberian government, knowing very well that you have some snitch in the government that pass those information over to America? Do you think the American will do so?
Snitches don't stop. United States government have a way of removing snitches' name from on documents,
They
So
can do redaction. You can
yeah,
redact.
exactly.
No, guys.
So that
Guys,
would not stop them if they wanted to submit that information. They can, if they were requested in a proper way, they can outline and document you, or even point you and give you technical assistance, whatever assistance that you needed to.
so thank you, Mariah. You follow this. Don't discover period. You must reveal everything to the opposition. And I think you can be very clear with us on this one if I'm mistaken. If you have an
Since
evidence, your witness does have they have the evidence, they should give it to the other team. Because time for trial, everybody should have access to those evidence, right?
So, Stanton, and I usually tell people the law is not black and white. So, in cases where you have, for example, whistleblowers, there's a Whistleblower Protection Act. You can protect the whistleblowers in this case. Yes, the adversary has to have all of the evidence and all of the witnesses, the list of witnesses as well, and have access to them. But in terms of whether it's privileged information or information that the U.S. government, for example, maybe some of these things are of security risks to the U.S. government. We're talking about money laundering here. We're talking about serious security issues that some of these people were involved with. I mean, they're talking about bank accounts of $1 million being presented. They're talking about people being in cahoot with criminals they were persecuting and letting them off. So some of these things are of security risks to the U.S. government. So they may not be able to, if that's the case, there's something called redaction. They can decide to point you towards the evidence, but not tell you exactly that this is this person who gave us this information. And if they have to do that, you also bind it by the Whistleblowers Act to protect some of these whistleblowers as well. What is most important here is whether or not this government has requested the U.S. government assistance or the evidence from them, because the president announced an investigation. Mind you, let's not forget that the president announced an investigation of this thing months ago. And Kev is telling us that they requested the evidence from the U.S. government, but he can't tell us when they did.
But the
And
president didn't say there's an active investigation. The president said there will be an investigation. There will be.
that you're right about that. So
Correct.
maybe he was lying to the Liberian people. So when will it be? 1 year from now? 2 years
No,
from now?
there was
This
no time though. There was no
Okay,
time placed on it.
I think when you speak in that progressive sense, and you said there will be an investigation, and you're suspending these people, of course, on what basis did the president then suspend them? He suspended them. And so if you're saying we'll suspend them and there will be an investigation, it's assumed to be immediate. It's not assumed to be 5 years from now. It's not assumed to be 3 years from now. So maybe we can say he give a time that the investigation will begin. It will start after the elections or whenever.
Probably.
I mean, maybe
I mean that's a fair game because if you look at it, anyway, Kev, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But Kev, you have to tell us when was this request made? Because if you're giving us the information, give us the full information.
I just want to move on. But as Anthony,
So you check it out, half
no,
information.
I know I just want to move on this. I know if I'm going to accuse somebody of a crime, the burden of proof is on me. So I'm not going to accuse somebody and just let it slide. The burden of proof is on me. Well, let's move on. I want to come on to you, Anthony Moriah. News reaching me, and you have to explain this because it's from a reliable source. That you have a
I mean, you don't
huge.
recognize Timon George. He just came on the
Oh,
show, bro.
thank you. I forgot. Timothy George, welcome on the show because he sent me a text today that he finally ready to renew his membership with the
Oh,
city. Yes, he said yesterday. He said, "Hey, my man, what you said to me, I'm gonna renew my membership with my party." I said, "You're always welcome." So tomorrow is my boy, so you're always welcome. So know that. But let me ask you, Mariah, news reaching me. You do have a huge affiliation with the ANC Global, so you can speak on this. You have uh, a connection with the ANC Global, a family connection, if I may say, with the leader of the ANC Global. The ANC Global raised 400,000 American dollars. 400,000, right? And they ask your political leader to give account of how that money is spent. And I'm getting this from a reliable source within the ANC. As you know, I have a privilege to your uh, uh, chat room. I'm showing evidence that I have connection to your chat room. And you, Mariah Kula, change your chat room because of me. And you and you said to me, "Will me? I change it." I remember that text, but I still have a connection in your chat room. But when they asked Mr. Cummings to give accountability of the 400,000, he only gave accountability of 50,000. He refused, and there is a mutiny going on within the ANC because of that amount. Mr. Cummings is not showing how he spent that money from the ANC. He's not showing that. As we speak, you know it that there's a mutiny. What's going on in the ANC? Can you explain to the Liberian people why there's a mutiny going on within the ANC? Because Mr. Cummings is not explaining how he spent that money. Only 50,000 is accounted for. Can you explain that?
Thank you, Kev. First things first, I don't discuss and explain my family matters or connection on the public radio station. Secondly, at no point has Mr. Cummings controlled any finances from any political institution. He's not the treasurer of ANC. Thirdly, on issues of ANC Global, I am not a member of ANC Global. Fortunately, we have Dr. Richardson, who serves as an executive of ANC Global. I think she would be best to respond to that. But your allegations against Mr. Cummings are bogus, they're lies, they're misinformation, and of course, they intended to do what Kev does best, propaganda. So if that's your question, um, I don't see a question there.
Uh, um, so basically, uh,
Basically, you lie.
so I'm asking you. Let me go to you, Theo. Tell I will come to you, my brother. Let me go to you, Theo. News reaching me of this ANC Global raised $400,000. Mr. Cummings ask him within the ANC. I know Mariah will spin it because that's what she does as a chief of staff. It's no strange.
There's nothing to spin. Have
But
you lied?
but,
Produce the
but
evidence of your
listen,
allegation.
can I explain about the 400,000 that was raised? He
Where?
only, only 50,000 they're talking about, but he can't explain. It's in
You lied.
it's in the same parameter of Mr. Cummings talk about 150,000 to give to the Liberian people, but still not explaining. See, I'm asking you for this. Do you think Mr. Moriah Yakula, people from ANC Global, should come and explain this matter? Should come because, according to my sources, um, this information is correct, and I do have access
So prove
to
it.
access to their chat room.
You don't.
I want you to touch on this and settle what is going.
Oh, Kev. Number one, I'm hungry. Number two, you're doing extremely well. Thank you for making me. Thank you for making me to be quiet today. I should say this to you, Kev. What's happening? ANC Global, CPP USA. You know, we've been following with this story. I don't know about the money. We should say a little over 400,000, and I don't know about how it's spent or who should give account. I don't know. There will be nothing I can say to that because I don't know how they collect the money. Folks that need to be telling us about this money, Kev, I believe will be those people that are part of the organization. I believe, I don't know about the money. If Mr. Cummings, the action report from Mr. Cummings, how he spent the money, I believe the head of ANC Global, if anybody have doubt, they should question ANC Global. And that's the right thing to do. Uh, Mr. Cummings is signatory to the account cap. If you see anything, is Mr. Cummings taking the money in the bank? I'm not defending Mr. Cummings, but that would be my question. Is he the one signing? He opened the bank account. It's like some church pastor that did
No, he's the treasurer.
they collect the money, the treasurer, the secretary, the pastor, everything. If that is what is happening, then we will question it. But if not, then ask the head of ANC Global. But my own understanding when and like I asked you a lot the other day, when I first received information, I asked you, I said, listen, what is going on? There is no CPP USA and ANC Global. Are they fussing? Are they having an issue along with the Midwest? And I think Tiola said, Stanton, I'm not going to say anything. You are not part of our party. I won't say anything to you. And I'll tell you the truth, I asked other folks, and they gave me similar answer. But one person I think that helping a little bit, that's the gentleman I want to come on the show. He's from ANC Midwest. He want to come on Spoon Talk. And he said, Stand up, if I come on the show, I will explain exactly what happened. I said, oh man, if you don't tell me how you come in there, you'll come. We started laughing because he kept on calling me. I'm not going to disclose his name, but he's from ANC Midwest. And so when they have this big program in Philadelphia, where I saw Moneyball, the general taking picture and other folks going, it raised question. I don't know anything about it, man. For the 400,000, 500,000, or $1 million, I don't know. Folks need to go ahead and ask whosoever had in that organization. That would be my own take, Kepasa. And I beg, I don't want to dwell on this thing too much. I don't know about the ANC people money business. I don't want to know about it, bro. I didn't contribute, Kev. I will only ask question if I contribute.
Well, the reason is that we sit on this platform, a lot of information reaching us. We have folks that break away from the ANC global. There's a mutiny going on. I use the word mutiny. There's something going on with the ANC.
No, not this year, new.
Yeah, with the ANC that they are not explaining. There are people within the ANC that the ANC doesn't want them to come around. There's people who is pushing around. We have all those information. So Mariah is not being she's not being open to the Liberian
But
people.
tell us what's going on. You got to help us now.
But
You can say something going on.
I explained that.
So
But I'm not sure.
inside the money, what's going on?
explained that to you.
Can we talk about Musa Benedict and going to court today? But what's going
Can
on?
we
I'm
talk about
sorry.
CDC midnight convention
Yeah,
they have?
that's what.
I mean, can we talk about the fact that your president
that's
the
what
country?
we-
What is
I'm sorry that you moderating. You're right. I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah, but what we're talking about,
your lies?
what we're talking about is bigger than your line. Mariah needs to explain that what's going on within the ANC. There's a financial
Why
issue.
you can ask Dr. Richardson? She on the show too.
But I
I
just told you that Richardson is an official ANC Global. You should ask her.
Yeah, I
So
will
why
get
do-
to
I'm
the
not
reason
official
I
ANC
stick with
Global.
the reason
Commies
I
not
stick
treasurer. Why don't ask why commies will have to do with money?
but
You try
the reason I stick with Mariah because she does have front row seat to
Joey, I
ANC
can take
Global.
CDC money, eh?
We have front row seat to the ANC Global.
But right,
The
remember
reason-
moderating, please. You
Yeah,
got to show some respect, please.
Comments
All right,
cannot
moderator.
explain. But Mariah, I understand because of your front row seat to the ANC Global, maybe you restrained to answer this question. I do understand. Dr. Richardson, you're part of the ANC
No.
Global. Is this statement that I said, read? I know you may not say it's correct, but there's something boiling there. 400,000 USD. Mr. Cummings can only account of 50,000, and that 50,000, they still don't have complete sense of it. Nothing to show for. There is a breakaway. There's a mutiny. Can you talk about it? I know your position. I know it's tough, but can you speak on what happening? Because it's a fact. We have the information. It's a fact. Can you speak on Mr. Cummings not explaining about the 400,000? And it seems like a pattern of Mr. Cummings. Can you speak on that?
Well, I have trouble speaking on insinuations. If you really have facts, please put them up on the screen so the Liberian people can see your $400 or minus your 50,000, your 400,000 minus your 50,000.
Did he say 400 million? That's what he said?
Whatever, I don't know what he said. He said
That's what
400,000. Your 400,000 minus your 50,000. Okay, if you have facts to that or whatever amount of money that you're speaking about, please put it on the screen so the Liberian people can know. Secondly, Mr. Cummings is not the treasurer for ANC Global. I'm not the treasurer. I'm not involved in money situations in that organization. So it is best that we move on and talk about things that are relevant to the Liberian people. Okay, I think it would
Let
be
me ask
best.
you this. Do you think the head of ANC Global, which do have affiliation to Mariah, should come and explain?
It is your choice. It's the manner in which you invite people to this show. If you feel like
No, I'm asking you. Do you think
Yes.
these are this?
Yeah, that is not important to me right now. Or to Liberian people for us to say we to explain what? What do you want him to explain?
Well, Dr. Richardson, can you give me 2 seconds, please? Kat, have
Yeah.
anyone complained to you? If they have complained, can you bring them on the show?
Yeah, I will request from the head of the ANC Global and
But the person nothing spoiled in the organization. Why did Bema come on the show?
because what happening within the ANC is being covered by the act of Mr. Cummings. But let me ask you this, Dr. Richardson. Don't you see it's a pattern of Cummings? You remember, were you on the show when he said that I will use 150,000 US dollar, right? On COVID. I will come back on Spoon and explain how I use that money. Don't you see the pattern that Mr. Cummings will use money and don't come back and explain? Don't you think it's a pattern?
Kev, I understand your concern and how you're trying
I
to.
want you to stick to that question I asked you.
I am. Can you control impulsivity a little bit? Let me speak. Please control impulsivity, please. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, good. Um, so I understand that you are looking for patterns in behavior. And I know that you must have some trust issues because George Weah promised the Liberian people that he grew up in
Stick to
Gibraltar.
Mr. Cummings' question
Um,
I asked
can I speak? I know you're
you.
moderating, please. Can
Yeah,
I
I
speak?
want you to stick to, yes.
Okay. So usually, when somebody promises you, like for example, I have Liberian people at heart. I'm gonna be for the poor people, and I'm gonna make Liberia Miami of the West African nations, and they don't deliver. You get some kind of trust issue. So when you see another leader, another person, you try to think that that person has the same pattern that you are accustomed to, Mr. Cummings. And so you're trying to tie the failure of George Weah to deliver for the Liberian people, the failure for him to, build roads, schools, provide medication, address the food insecurity, the rights issue people are calling on right now, the failure of him to be in the country, gone for 20 something days out of the country. You are trying to look at Mr. Cummings and think that Mr. Cummings has the same pattern where he's going to fail the Liberian people. And so you're trying to find something, like you said, you've seen patterns in his behavior of not talking about money business. That pattern is in George. We are in the current government that you are used to. So I'm
Okay.
sorry. That's
Uh,
you
uh,
want me to continue? I can continue answering your question for you.
let me get to Tommy. Tommy, my brother, how are you? Welcome
You
to
skip
the
you
show.
on me again.
Yeah, no, Tommy been sitting there for long. We have to recognize the most dynamic Tommy George. Tommy George.
Love
Let
you.
me let me ask you this, my brother. I went to Moriah. I went to Dr. Richardson. I'm looking for this. You were on the show, Mr. Cummings, asking questions, specific question, Tommy George. Your 150,000. Will you come back? It was over a year ago. Will you come back and spoon talk and show us how you spend our money? He promised me, yes, I will come back. And now we're having 400,000 minus 50,000. We're talking about 350,000 uh, unaccounted for within the ANC. They don't know where that money is. They don't know how you use that money. There's a mutiny within the ANC, and I can confirm to you there's a mutiny within the ANC. They are saying ANC is being run by Mariah and the ANC Global. They are saying that. They're saying to the world that we're not having this. Mr. Cummings is not the guy that we know. He's not being clean. Based on what he said on Spoon Talk and the allegations are coming out, don't you think, Tommy George, that Mr. Cummings does have a shady part, that who he tells the Liberian people he is not?
Well, I can't let because when you have a dog, the kids put I got what they call dog grooming. That just came from coming to groom the dog and all kind of stuff. So they be on my back since today. But anyways, it's good to be here on Thanksgiving Eve. As we were talking about Cummings, I was just doing some liquid research. Look, we know we're in political season, but there's a man who left $10.6 billion in Coca-Cola Reserve when he left office. Just today, his net worth is $25.7 million. So I mean, so we shouldn't try to play with his character, his reputation, man. For politics, I don't think I want to do that. Just easy, just go and see what he was today. The guy that did that, 25.8 million, he left at 10.6 billion in Coca-Cola Reserve. He managed all that kind of money, left it in that kind of account. I mean, that's the thing he will be playing with, So I don't want to give credence to such a thing because we don't have no documents to prove it, no records to prove it. Now, if we start talking about holding people accountable, they could ask our own CDC, the dollar rally, where they come from that dollar rally. Then they said, when last we gave us a financial report from the elections we had, the money that had been raised. So I don't think we want to go into that territory. I don't think it's necessary, but for discussion, you can bring it up. But I don't think I really will want to delve into it because it will open a lot of wounds and we won't be able to handle it. So I just pray. I mean, I wish we'll discuss real national issues right now that are affecting Liberian people's lives, that are impacting their lives right now. That Liberians are calling. I know your phone's been ringing today. People want help. They've been calling for support all over the place. So I think we should focus on the national issues that are affecting our people right now. So that's how I will handle it, though.
Okay. Tell me, let me say this. I want James to I sent James uh, uh, some post I want him to put on because we're trying to look for a pattern here. We're trying to look for certain things. One thing I see in Liberia, we sometimes talk, but we don't look at certain things. For example, let me say this: Stanton Witherspoon start this program, this Spoon Talk, to help the Liberian people. I saw some pattern in Stanton Witherspoon in helping Liberian people. When we went to Liberia, even though we were doing it, but I never knew the impact of Spoon Talk helping. We have Sunday a Bible question, give back. We all see that stuff like that. So we went to Liberia, we saw the folks coming out to Stanton Witherspoon because they believe that he's a humanitarian. So the people will always gravitize. The people will always come to you. So I I sometimes look for pattern. I sometimes look for when I'm talking to somebody, I listen to you. If you say something to me today, I want to ask you tomorrow. If you change, I can know. I want James to put on a post that Mariah and the rest of us talk about the ANC website. The reason I'm bringing up that post, there was an allegation on Mr. Cummings that he went to court of fingering. Um, and a lot of people say, "Oh no, it's not true. He never tampered with the document and everything." But there is something that they did with the website. We flagged on the website on Spoon Talk that he was giving job to a
Is this a joke?
foreign individual
Is
called
this a
Ian Patrick Hines. Ian Patrick Hines. And Mariah defended that it was a template, it came in ready made, and all those things. She said a lot of things. Immediately after the show, they went in and changed it and took out the Ian hand and put in Mr. Cummings' name. Based on what Mariah said, and now they change it, I want the Liberian people to know. James, I send it to you. If James here hear us, can you put that post up, James? So we can show the Liberian people how Mr. Cummings changed this thing from what. Okay, thank you, James. On August 21, we're looking at this post right now. Same picture, same people, same everything. We flag this thing. And when we flag it, Mariah defended this. As you see on my left, You see, written by Ian Hines. This is the guy who Mr. Cummings hired. It's Ian Patrick Hines. He hired this guy. After we flagged it, Mr. Cummings went and changed it. And the same date, everything written by ANC Combs. So you can see what we're saying here, how they went and changed it. Because we flagged this, that he gave him jobs, see how Mr. Cummings changed this thing. I want the Liberian people to see what we're talking about. How can this thing happen? I want Mariah to explain to us that because we flagged it, that Ian Hines is working for Mr. Cummings, and we talk about it, and now you see how he gone back and change it to written by Cummings. Look at it too. Mariah, can you look at this too and explain to the Liberian people why Mr. Cummings changed this thing? Why you guys change it?
I don't know if this is a comedy session of the Spoon Talk, or what in the world this is tonight. Because you've just jumped from Cummings being treasurer of the ANC to now Cummings being the IT manager or IT person of the ANC. So all of these bogus allegations against Mr. Cummings. I don't even want to go into addressing the money issue, because I think everybody listening knows it makes no sense. Because for over 40 years, he worked in corporate America and was audited every quarter, and not a penny was missing to sit on the show and talk, but he can account for money. It just makes you a comedian. But let's talk about the website. You can't be that daft, Kev. Because I clearly stated here on the show that when you get a template that is bought and you update it, if you don't remove the person's name and you update the website, it will be in the person's name who did the template. If you remove the name, if you update it, it will not be in the name. So if the ANC went back and updated the website, that issue tonight, what does that say about Cummings? What do you got to do with Cummings? That Cummings running ANC website, that Cummings running ANC account, that Joe, we are the treasurer, the IT person, the chairman, the everything for CDC. Is this a joke on the Liberian people tonight? With all of the serious issues to discuss, the issues of leisures that we've been talking about, that still not address the biometric issue that we still have, there's still enumerators who haven't gotten paid. Matter of fact, we're in a meeting today with the partners at the UN headquarters and your chairman, your main chairman, who got your day of convention overnight. You put BTV in front of the delegates to watch the meeting we are playing while you're inside the house, changing all the officials. We want to talk about that one. That today we're making this a what? ANC show or ANC community session? Let's be serious for once. ANC money, they're not public money. ANC website, they're not government or library. So I want the last time I updated the Ministry of State website. E-Mansion. What's the last time? It's either we have something substantial to discuss with the Liberian people, or we tell them good night and allow them save their data, or we discuss issues of significance. I know you're obsessed, highly obsessed with the ANC and Mr. Cummings, and I can't blame you. Like I said, when you go to bed in the night, you can jump from Cummings. You can have nightmares. So I can understand why they one time Stanton made you to be moderator on the show. You're turning into ANC community session. But we got more important things to talk about. So you gotta try harder, Kev.
Okay.
Yes?
Okay. CEO, let me go to you, Stanton Witherspoon. What I'm hearing from Mariah, she interested in attacking me. She interested in talking about me versus talking about the question I asked her.
Well, I answered the question
You are,
very well.
you were on, you were on the show. When I flag this thing, we flag it. This is
It
what
was
we.
so what's the
Mariah,
issue?
Mariah, let me ask the CEO. I will come back to you. You had your thing. You had your time. You know, I've been so generous. I could have gone to somebody else, but I've been so generous to ask you. You know,
It's so generous.
Yes, so generous.
yeah, to ask you, so you can explain that. But you know, there's a missed opportunity here that you're not talking about it. So let me go to CEO. CEO, we talk about this. Uh, we can see the flip from one to another. Um, if this Ian and Patrick Hans was something like Mariah saying, why got a battle with what we're saying? But it changes. I'm asking you, why the ANC changes thing? Remember, there's an allegation of fingering on the Mr. Cummings that he tampered with a legal document. So Mr. Cummings does have a pattern of changing stuff. The reason I'm asking you this, the NC Global is talking about him messing with their money. The NC, the CPB, the last CPB talk about figuring the document, and we flag the website, and he changed it. I'm asking you, Stenson Waterspoon, can you explain to the Liberian people, or can you make sense of how Mr. Cummings always accused of something that he go back and change it? Is he?
Okay.
Is he?
But yeah, I understand the question. Can you promise that we'll discuss a little bit of Liberty Party tonight, please? They were. It's a very interesting story.
Yeah, let's wrap
Right
it up.
now, yeah.
I will turn over the
Doesn't
Liberty
do, Mr. Moderator.
Listen, I will turn over the Liberty Party session to you, Weatherspoon.
Oh,
But let me,
No.
the moderator for the show tonight. No anymore.
You're not a moderator when it comes to Mr. Cummings.
You will show your juice. When you finish, then you moderate for CC.
Let's go. Two things I thought that is trending is the midnight Jade convention, the Baguio convention that CDC had, and also But let me
can
talk
about
the
that.
answer.
You can talk about that. I want you to answer my question. You can talk about that with your moderator, but answer my question.
Okay. So I'm not going to say anything because you know why? I'm not the one moderating. So you're right. Let me answer the question. McKev, to tell you the truth, my brother, you're my friend, you're my brother. The Liberian people don't care less about who running the network, the page up, when they change it, when they didn't change it. Kev, you want me to be very honest with you tonight, and please don't get mad at me. It's a good story. It's a good spin for the opposition to comments. You make a good talking point. But I passed that, Kev. Who created that website? They changed it now and put Mr. Cummings name. I don't even know whether it's legit, whether somebody just erased something and put Mr. Cummings in, but whether actually ANC changed it, I really don't know. I decided not to follow it, Kev, because I will tell you this. This week, as we march towards Thanksgiving here in America, we should be grateful. We should be thankful that Liberia is tired of bloodshed. That Liberia is tired of war. And I'm grateful to God for that. That we can have the chance to disagree, shout at each other, and laugh and make up. I'm grateful to God for that. That though the government, the civil servant, have not gotten paid for almost 3 months, but yet, through it all, the people are resolved. I'm grateful to God for that. But can I finish now?
No, I want you to stick to the question I asked you.
Oh,
I want you to stick to the question I asked you.
Moderator Kev.
Yeah, let's stick to the question I asked you. Not you pivoting. Let me say this to you. May I remind you?
How about Kev? Can I plead the fifth? I don't want to talk about that. Yeah, I'm not. But let me plead the fifth. I read it.
So
Kev,
that
let me.
you cannot don't pivot to something.
Okay. So no, I'm not pivoting in a bad way. I am just telling you that I'm not
That's a
an
pivot.
ANC. I'm not an ANC member. I'm not
If I close my
pivoting.
eye and listen to
But
you, if I close my eye and listen to you, I would think that ANC surrogate.
I'm not an ANC member. Man, you moderating. You ask me a question. Can I
Yeah,
answer
but,
the way I see
The
fit?
moderator
I think right
accusing
now,
you.
yeah, he accusing me.
The
I think right
moderator
now on the
accusing you of
show,
pivoting a bit
I think right
ANC
now on the
member.
show, what you show, right, if it is true that ANC changed their person name to Mr. Common name, if it is true, then Mariah then owe the Liberian people explanation because Mariah defended that page, the nation builder responsible to run the page. If it is true, if it is not true, let's move on. That's all I would say. I don't want to get into it. I'm tired, just but I hope you hear my answer, Kev. If it is true that ANC changed Enhanced name and they put Mr. Cummings' name, then they owe the Liberian people, they owe you, Kev, an explanation if it is true. If it is not, then I think we got to ask who
Yeah,
changed it.
but see,
Yeah.
Mariah admit on the show it was changed, and she gave a
Did
reason why
she admitted? She admitted that it was changed?
it was changed.
I never heard her admitting though.
Mariah, and you guys change it. It's a complete yes or no. No,
Yeah.
don't.
Do I look as elementary teacher to you? I not
But
tell you part of the reason I can't teach.
Mariah,
No,
Mariah,
you ask the question, let me
Mariah,
respond now.
let's do
Mr.
justice in Liberian people. You
Moderator,
guys change it.
moderator, when you ask question, you let me answer it. I
Let's
not know that
talk
moderator.
about so leave the pettiness.
Moderator Hassan.
I'm asking you a question. You guys change it.
Moderator Hassan. I am not an elementary teacher. I don't know how to keep repeating myself until somebody understands what I'm teaching. That part of why I'm not in the teaching profession.
But Kev has a
Clear on my response.
Mariah answer, right? I'm sorry, Sister Mariah. But Kev Hassan, you can go on the page and find out whether it was changed or not.
I did. I did.
So
I
so
did.
it was changed.
My point to you, is
That's where I took it from. I did. It was
Listen,
changed.
I made it clear to you. In fact, the very night we had this conversation, I even asked the lady that Stanton brought on the show, and it was clear about the fact that if you don't change the person who did the template, if you don't remove the name from on the template, the name will remain there as long as you post on the website. When you remove the name, when you update the name will not remain there. So what is the issue? That's what I keep asking you. I'm gonna come repeat myself. Do you understand it? It's not, no. Yeah, you making something, the website will not be the issue. We'll discuss the major issues in the country because, like Stanton said earlier, Liberian people don't care about ANC website. They care about the fact that the president has extended his stay in Qatar and every day he spent $2,000 and I jail him. Then they almost 15% on his delegation that he carried with him. That the Liberian people pay every day for being in Qatar, while they haven't gotten paid for 3-4 months. Those are the issues we need to discuss. No, I'm still speaking. You're not going back to Stanton.
The moderator said he carried back, so Mariah got to listen to the moderator.
Give me another 30 seconds to let my thought. You're not stopping me.
The moderator stopped you, Mariah. You got to stop. He's the moderator.
Mariah, for me, I will go to the phone line. We haven't got to the phone line. Well, I will go to the phone line. But
no, the phone line cannot. We cannot use the phone line because we changed our system.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but let me ask you. I don't know.
So we're discussing your main
convention. Let's discuss Liberty Party's morning. Can all be okay? Can let's do this because I appreciate you moderating tonight. But give us 30 seconds to talk about our own topic. Our own topic today that on our heart. Can we talk about it, please?
Yeah. Listen. Tomorrow Thanksgiving, you can talk on your table, your own topic. Yeah. But today.
Good answer, Kevin. Good answer.
We are eating your
topic.
But let me say this. Let me ask you, Stephen, on this one.
Mariah said it. Yeah, they change it, but I'm asking you, why they change it? Is because we flag it? I'm asking you.
So let me be honest with you, Kev.
Yeah.
I think ANC did the right thing to change it. Because if they didn't know, on that day when we had the discussion, they get to know this gentleman. He was going to charge them continuously just because his name is still on the website. So it is important, and thank God to change it. And they will be responsible for everything that is out there now on this page. It won't be this gentleman. So I think it was the right thing. I mean, Mariah argument the other day defending the reason why the gentleman name was on it. I think Mariah, she was off. But listen, we all can admit a wise man changes, and CDC did the right thing to correct that which was mistaken. That's all I was saying. I mean, ANC did the right thing to correct that which was mistaken. If it was a mistake, I think moving forward, everything that is on that page will reflect ANC, Mr. Cummings' activities, and that's how it should be.
Somebody judge. The CEO say they correct a mistake. I'm asking you, why they correct a mistake? It's because we flag it. Why they correct that mistake?
Well, maybe because they keep going discussion, so they decided to make correction. So they were in political season, and anything that happened, everybody would catch it. So so everybody just waiting for any little mistake and catch on all sides. Anything you see, you.
But
see that
should we get the fact that we shouldn't discuss current issue now, like what we want to discuss in our heart? Can you talk to the moderator?
Yeah,
Let's discuss
I mean, if we would discuss it,
let's discuss the midnight convention I was had. Let's discuss the new people.
Let's discuss our current issue if you want to.
The current issues about the letter the president sent to Abbott Chair, the current issue, right?
Let's discuss this issue, right? Let's discuss the issue.
Kevin, dog with that.
We since we the people trying to pivot off, we know that the ANC changed the website, which reflects on the allegation that the other side within the collaboration charged the ANC of tampering and fingering document. It shows that they have a pattern of fingering document. We know that there's a pattern. You flag something, they change it. Since
we discussed that the Senate going to write something for tomorrow to bring in handcuffs
Can I continue? Yeah, but it's
on my list of moderating on Friday.
Yeah, but it's up to you guys to come up with what you want to talk about. But let me talk about what I want to.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's talk about the $400,000, which $100,000. It's an act of corruption. But
yeah, you moderating, you should give us. You don't do your closing.
I think the moderator,
you should allow us to answer your question.
Are
we done? Are we done with the show?
No, but listen, I'm not closing. I will urge everybody. Let me control my show, and you're still put.
But you controlling your show will not be to cast expression on another political leader without facts and evidence. Not under my watch, Kev.
I'm going to the next.
You like it, you can be Jesus on the show.
So what's the next? What is the next?
And the next topic better be a topic that you haven't tried to discuss here.
I'm going to the next topic.
Right. If you moderating, Kev will not do this to you. Give me
no, you will.
I'm going to the next.
There you go ahead.
I'm going to the next topic, but I'm just going to close on this. Because
keep it for your closer. We all the time. Let's do the next topic.
Let me go to the next topic. But you can't tell me how to moderate. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. The next topic, Mr. Cummings.
Then the next topic, Mr. Cummings. Then the next topic, Mr. Cummings.
Can I censor me?
Publicity for us.
Yeah, the next my next topic. You said I talk of current issue, right? Mr. Cummings
sir.
had a rally, right? And he tied his lapa and he was dancing, you know. And one of the
With
things
the exception of Mr. Cummings, can we talk about any other person or any other party?
when you moderate, you can do that. So let me go what I want to say.
Guys,
see you.
I'm sorry, Cap.
Yeah.
But the doorbell ringing. I gotta go answer the door.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry. Go ahead,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Go ahead, sorry. You're stay 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks on the government, but you cannot take few hours. You see how you're restless? Imagine everybody restless. But let me say this, Miss Dr. Richardson. Miss, let me go to you. Mr. Cummings had a rally. You know, he tied his lapa, dancing with the people. He's saying he was endorsed by the global people. Well, we understand that certain folks of the global organization denounced that rally. They say we're not part of it. Can you speak on that? That the global people come out and say, no, we're not part of that, Mr. Cummings thing he's doing. The thing is, he's playing games with our people. He's paying people around to act like the global people. But the global people say, no, we're not part of it. Can you speak on that? Since you're part of it.
Yeah, the good news is Mr. Cummings received a significant amount of support from certain people, including people from the global background in Monrovia. You saw the picture. I think I even sent it to you as well. Did we expect all the global people or the people that consider themselves to be global to support Mr. Cummings? No, you know very well democracy doesn't work like that. You know, when George Weah got elected the first time, only 38% of the Liberian people voted for him, not 100%. So we know how, you know, we're just pleased that we reached out to this community and we got the support. Nobody in the country expect that, you know, 100% of the people from Gibraltar or from wherever George Weah is from, Grand Crew County, will support him. It doesn't, democracy doesn't work like that. People have choices as who they want to support. So my answer to that is yes, we are still going out. We'll be going into many other communities, many counties, and we get the support. We give our message to Liberian people, and they are buying it, Kev. That's the most important part. When you see them come out, they are hearing the message of Mr. Cummings. And we don't expect everybody to support us. Like 38% supported Josh. Yeah, I'm Josh Weah, not 100%, right? You agree with me on that, won't you?
Okay. Let's. I'm just going to stick with you on that question. When I listened to you, said it best that not every global people. So now we know that a lot of global people do not support Mr. Cummings. So thank you for what you said.
Can we also say that the whole like that was can we also say that 38% of the people, not all the Liberians, voted for George Weah? Can we say that as well?
Let's move on
to this pattern. You talk about seeing pattern. Let's do that.
No, Dr. Richardson, you said it brilliantly. The large amount of the group of people did not support that thing Mr. Cummings would
Well,
do.
don't put words in my mouth. I didn't tell you large amount. Don't put words in my mouth. I told you we made our case a significant portion. The word that I used was significant portion of the group of people community in Monrovia voted for Mr. Cummings. I didn't tell you say a large amount of group of people didn't come out to support him.
Still, let me come to you.
Why you can't go to somebody else?
No, I want to go see you. Let me moderate the show. There's something going on within the CPP collaboration with the Liberty Party and the Musa Ability. Look into all this thing. I asked Musa Ability a question. If you go to court and they rule against you, what will you do? He said, nothing. I'm asking you, if nothing, will Elizabeth Cummings, Alex Cummings, will be hanging in limbo if the Yomli Kanga take hold of Liberty Party?
Uh, I can answer, right?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, question for me.
Listen, we're gonna wait for the justice decision, Kaba, uh, for his ruling. Uh, Probably they will take it to the full bench. But I was able to speak to both sides. I can disclose on the show. Both sides they are upbeat. The Ability camp and the Yombli camp. They think that they have the case on their side, and they will wait for the justice decision. It is important for us all to just hold our peace, and we're going to wait and wait for the ruling. But now, if Ability win this thing, I do believe it will help Liberty Party. It will save Mr. Cummings as stand-up bearer. I also think, seriously, if Senator Youngbley win this thing, I do believe uh, Liberty Party will be taken away from the CPP. I strongly believe, and I can say this, if Senator Youngbley Kagan Lawrence win this thing, she remain political leader, ability remain chairman, and they will do everything they can that Mr. Cummings will not be the political leader or the stand-up bearer for CPP as per Liberty Party. And so either or, that's where we are. But we just want to wait. Folks are eager. They're going to wait because this is important. Whatever the case may be, it's a game that is being played. And I think only the wise man will see the end to this game. I feel within myself something is turning around. What I've heard today, I think if you're looking at the percentage of Tuman and Josh, if you say you get 100%, I think Yombly, maybe I may be wrong, folks. I think Yombly Kanga Lawrence is up by 65, 70% winning this thing compared to Musa Ability. Uh, and that would be my serious argument because I listen to both camp and I think the Lord is on the side of of Yombly. But Musa can win it. But Musa can
So
win
I
that.
say you waiting for the judge, they already gave me verdict.
No. Listen, Mariah. That way, if they read a moderator show, I will be off for that whole day because I believe you will not get anybody a chance to talk. You will not get anybody a chance to talk because I do believe the reason why I say no, Mariah, is that I listen to them. Their argument are stronger by the minute and by the day. I'm
Were
not
you
saying the
in the
judge
conference?
decision. I listened to them today. I
Were
spoke
you in
to
the
them.
conference?
Mariah, I will send you the sheet. I will send it over to you.
Senator, I was
You
in the
will.
conference today.
But then Mariah, then give me a chance. Let me talk now. Then you will be the last.
I'm not talking nothing. I said
Kev,
nothing.
Kev,
I'm
can
just
you go
asking.
back? Kev, can you go back to Mr. Cummings topic? Maybe it will
But
help.
everyone is
Another
talking
interrupt.
about
No, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this.
But
No, no,
but
everyone
but
that
but
can be
Kev,
talking
but
Mariah,
Kev,
I'll come to you.
Kev,
Mariah,
on
I'll
a
come to
serious
you.
note, on a
Mariah,
serious
I'll come
note,
to you. Let us see you, brother.
yeah,
I'll come to you.
on a serious note, I think Liberians should listen. Something is turning around. Something is happening, and when that decision comes, it will not be good for the ANC stand-up bearer, Mr. Cummings. You know, and I think that where the IRA is facing right now. So I rest my case, Kev. I
Okay.
rest.
Yeah. Mariah, let me ask you this. I I I, I do that for a living. Dr. Richardson and I, we and
What do you defend CDC for living? That's it.
We talk about certain things. I look at Musa Belte. I watch his body language, and we talk to him. He seemed like a guy who saying that whatever happened happened. Let's say the rule against Musa Belte. What would be the position of Mr. Cummings? Will Mr. Cummings hang there and just dry and nothing? The name CPP will not hold water, because if Yomle Kanga Lawrence take hold of the Liberty Party and decide the Liberty Party according to NEC now and say Liberty Party no longer endorse Mr. Cummings and walk away, what would be the position of Mr. Cummings and the ANC? Would that be a CPP, or will there be a new folks coming within the CPP? What would be the position if Liberty Party go away?
I know CDC been traumatized since CPP under Cummings flogger in 2020 and won more than half of the senatorial seats. So I know CDC is still traumatized from the name CPP. And so you're not trying to do anything you can to make sure CPP exists. CPP existing, and Musa said it last night. CPP stronger against CPP ongoing again. You're still trying to damage the one CPP here. Newsflash, you will not succeed. As to the Liberty Party case, I was in the conference today. I'm not going to speak on it because the officials of Liberty Party and the other side that took their case to NEC are the ones best suited to speak on the case. I'm not a member or official of the Liberty Party, so I can speak on it. But in terms of what will happen to CPPO, what will happen to ANC, what will happen to Commiso, I know that the nightmare you've been having for months, the CPP has been a thorn in your CDC flesh. They will try, but CPP will be on the ballot 2023.
Okay. Tommy Judge. I listened to Mariah. Something tells me that she's afraid. She don't know what's going on there.
And I tell you, comprehension are your problem.
She's not speaking. She's not speaking on the question I asked her. If
Oh, Jesus.
the Supreme Court ruled against Musa Belete, what would be the position of Mr. Cummings? But she pivoted and talking about CDC, talking about my grandfather, talking about something happened, talking about the chicken that I used to stay in Bombing County that we used to do JBC. She went through that. But I'm asking you, Tommy George, if this happened, what would be the position of the ANC? Because the chief of staff is not answering that. Tells me that they don't know the position. Tells me they're afraid what's coming next. Speak on that, Tommy George. What would be the position of ANC if this happens?
I think a couple of weeks ago I said that I was monitoring the Liberty Party case, but then somebody told me, said, look, they called me and said, Tomale, XYZ. And I tell you right now, Liberty Party, they are going to remain tight-lipped. They will, if anybody calling them on the both sides, they will tell you what they want to hear. They have their whole game plan. They're not going to, and make no mistake, Liberty Party, the Yombly, the Delon, the Musa, they got their plan. They know what they're working towards. They're going to remain tight-lipped. They've been having series of calls, telephone conversation, and they've been discussing it, and they are not going to undermine their path towards unity. They are working together. So right now, I take a step back and just watching. So if you guys think they were the party and they know what they're doing and so forth, they know what they're up to. And at the appropriate time, Day and Cummings will sit and settle the whatever issue they got. But at the end of the day, their goal is to have a united Liberty Party, and they have made it clear amongst themselves that they will ensure that that happens, and nothing can undermine it. So what they are telling, they'll be saying to the press and other people, just to maybe confuse the people. So right now, I don't want to go far away. I just want to step back and listen to the next couple of weeks and see what happens.
I beg you, Kev, Mr. Moderator, please consider me asking somebody a question. Somebody, George, I know I'm hearing what you're hearing, and you're hearing what I'm hearing. But let's just be fair, though. Let's be fair to Liberians tonight. If the center, like it says in the book, because that whole thing's going to fall apart. We understand we are talking about that unity in Liberty Party. But my question to you, Georgie, will the unity be a blessing to Mr. Cummings or a curse to Mr. Cummings?
So why you can ask
Hey,
the
I
question?
beg you,
Well,
but I will ask my question. Don't tell me how to ask my
Okay,
question.
so follow up. Why you
Mr.
can ask the
Moderator, Mr.
You
Moderator,
open your deal, you supporting
you
Burger
know
anymore?
Mr. Moderator, please help me. Protect
what's
me, please.
but what's happened is that now what happened is that I'll say this one. Yeah, this one.
No,
The
I
president
beg you, be straight or else I will jam you.
I come.
Because I know what you're saying, yeah.
Now, the president long trip abroad have triggered something between the Liberty Party unity with the ANC collaboration. Now, the launch of the president abroad and what's happening with a lot of the issues in the country with religion and other stuff, they triggered Liberty Party attempt now their path towards unity in collaboration with the ANC. So right now, as I said, they understand what's at stake, and they are now pursuing that path. So right now, nothing much they are going to give up until they reach to that point. So right now,
So the question,
let's watch and see what happens.
please answer the question. Georgie,
what's the question?
you say you're a student of history, especially Liberian history. Don't scratch your head. This unity in Liberty Party. And Mr. Moderator, you got to jam to manage it. That everybody is calling for. Would this unity be a blessing to ABC or a curse to ABC?
Let's see what happens with the Liberty Party unity.
You can't
Let's see what
answer.
happens first.
He will
Let's
not
see what
answer the
happens.
question. Will it be a blessing to Joseph Yima Bwaka or a curse to Joseph Yima Bwaka?
Let's see what happens between the Liberty Party, the unity.
You refuse to answer. Would this unity in Liberty Party bring together Joseph Yima Bwaka and Elzana Cummings?
Still we shouldn't be going too much.
Can
But I'm telling you, I said
moderate?
Liberty Party unity.
I turn this over to you, Stena.
Move to another point.
No, but I understand, Judge. But let's tell Liberian people the voting will be tomorrow or Friday. This unity that everybody calling for.
Who's the justice in chambers right now?
Kabal.
Okay, I rest my case. Let's move on.
So so I gotta press you. I gotta hold you there. I'll ask you 3 questions, and I'll ask the 3 questions to Mariah, and I'll ask the 3 questions to Dr. Richardson. Dr. Richardson, you go first, man. This unity 1, will it be a curse to Joseph Yima Bwaka or a blessing? Will it be a curse to Mr. Cummings or a blessing? Or will it be a blessing that we see Joseph Yima Bwaka and Mr. Cummings on the same ticket? This Liberty Party unity.
That's a hypothetical question.
For that one part, will it be a curse or a blessing to CDC?
I'm for CDC. I know CDC. Careful, Jeffrey and C. If that unity happens, that's a problem. But Dr. Richardson, you gotta answer this one.
Yeah,
you see too many left the show, and he texted me already. Said, "My man, don't put me on the spot." But go ahead, Dr. Richardson.
I was following your analysis earlier about what will happen to Mr. Cummings, and if Musa does not win the case, that means that Liberty Party have to go back into the caucus to make a decision as to whether they're going to support ANC. I think there's some historical facts here. One is ANC was a standalone party before the collaboration, although she endeavors to maintain a collaboration in the best interest of Liberian people, and I'm sure this is the same thing that Liberty Party intends to do. But I kind of hesitate to respond in a direct way to you simply because I want to wait to hear what the judge has to say, and then I will formulate my thoughts about it. I actually told myself I was going to reserve any opinion on this because I really want the judge to decide this case, and then we can move forward.
Nobody can answer the question, Kev.
They can.
Something is not there. So but I think let's end the show.
They cannot.
Let's end the show. I'm afraid to go to Mariah said. So guys, tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Yeah, we'll be having a live.
In Liberia, and it's almost 11:30 midnight. I'm the only person who's up past midnight most times on these shows. So
we try to do this thing 6 o'clock exact for you guys to have the chance to rest.
You get your horse, man.
So that means I can sleep. I need to sleep. I gotta work in the morning.
Mariah, you can answer if you want to, but I will ask you though, real quick, Mariah. Do you envision Liberty Party unity?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's in the best interest of the party. So, of course, that's something that anybody.
Are you concerned if there's a unity in Liberty Party where you get Youngbley, political leader, Chairman Ability, and the rest of them coming home singing the Kumbaya? Are you concerned that will be a problem to Mr. Cummings as per the CPP?
I'm not concerned at all. Not one bit.
Okay. I think tomorrow will be Thanksgiving, and I believe tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. We'll be having a wonderful time here. At the end of the day, on Friday, Dr. Richardson will be moderating.
Don't go to the
Mariah, but he didn't say food for Kev. Stop asking him. I think Dr. Richardson. Dr. Richardson, you will be moderating on Friday. We always take our time because I'm tired. And on Saturday, if Mariah is available, she will moderate. If not, Monday, Mariah will moderate. And I hope Mariah comes soon. Once we are all panelists on the show, we have the chance to moderate. Yeah, you can bring your own discussion. You can be like Kev. Next topic, Mr. Cummings. Next topic, Mr. Cummings. Next topic, Mr. Cummings. Or you can sit next topic.
Wait, let me ask you, Morale.
Yeah, but I think that the issue about before we leave though, Kev, thank you very much for moderating. That's super of you. We appreciate you. But real quick, Central George, what's the issue about the Jade convention? A lot of people sending me messages. The backdoor midnight convention. What's happening?
I saw Mama today. I call him the midnight chairman.
Oh, is that you? I beg you, go ahead and end your show. Sorry, Kev. So for my
Center, you know what they did? During the convention, they brought all the delegates, put BTV also to the party headquarters. The delegate are watching team, we are play, team score, go! All the delegates are watching TV while they're in the room there.
But they schedule the convention and they do it secretly. But Kev, you're right. That's your show. I'm not going to say something contrary. I want to say thanks to every one of you for coming out to support Kev as he moderated today. It was a great show to me. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Let's send a shout out to Dr. Peabody's son. Today is his birthday. Dr. Peabody had to leave to take the young man for dinner. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Sister George, the young man is getting taller like his father, man.
13 years old. Yeah, Henry and Shane Peabody.
I'm telling you, but you know what though? God bless him. Because you know what? He looked like his mother, so God bless him. And you know,
Yes, tomorrow
Happy birthday.
tomorrow is my mother's birthday too. My mother's birthday is tomorrow. Yeah,
your
my
mother's birthday.
24th November. Yeah, her birthday
May
tomorrow.
God bless.
Birthday.
May God bless your mother.
My dad's
Huh?
birthday is
Dorothy
Monday.
Ben Everett. She's following.
Your
Watch our
dad,
program every night.
Councillor Yekula. Councillor
Councilor
Lois.
Yekula's birthday is Monday. Happy birthday
Yeah.
to Councilor Yekula. I wish you. Listen, Councilor.
Absolute
I don't know where your
love
daughter
of my
get it
life.
talking from, whether that you or your wife.
Yeah, that and he was a lawyer too.
He is. He's my
Yeah,
brother.
he's a lawyer.
My
Your
brother
dad's
is
a lawyer, right?
He's doing his master's in South Africa.
Your brother's
So
a
we
lawyer.
want to say happy birthday.
My younger
Happy
brother.
birthday to Anthony Yekula. Happy birthday to Dr. Peabody's son, the young man turned 13.
Henry Shane Peabody. Happy birthday,
Peabody.
nephew.
30 years old, man. Yes. Happy birthday. And want to say happy birthday to Timothy's mother. The Oma is still moving strong. We wish her Godspeed. And you know, we say happy birthday to every one of you that's celebrating your birthday today or this week. We wish you well wherever you are. Spoon is bringing new equipment. We have new equipment because a lot of people say we can't hear you. We can't hear you. So what we did, we have upgraded our equipment. I don't want to give out our secret. The manager will be back Saturday with all the brand new equipment. I sent the information to Kev Hassan. You'll be able to hear us from Brooklyn J. And also, you know, those equipment are powerful. The lightning strike our building, you know, it went straight into our transmitter room. But thank God, God bless us. Good people came to our aid, and we are able to buy brand new equipment. So there's not any representative from ANC, CDC, UP want to come on the show. They'll pay for our equipment. Else they're not coming.
Pay for the equipment or the airtime.
They will pay for our equipment by paying for the airtime. But else they're not coming. But guys, that's what we do for Liberia. You know this is free. That's why we appreciate you joining us every day. As political party make their case. This is what we do. And again, like Kev said, we look forward to the president coming to the United States. Today is the 23rd. And let me leave that one alone. You have a good night from my end.
Kev, I'm watching all the games today. What? I missed all the games today, man. Can you help me with the results, please?
But that's okay. Kev, call the man, tap the man with the result. I think it beat Canada 1-0.
I look on the phone, but
what I would
say,
but what I would say,
yeah, but let me say this.
But you can't go. You gotta do closely though.
Let me say this, guys. I'm proud of Alfonso David. He's a true son of this Liberia. As the same with Timothy, we're proud of our boys. They're out there doing their thing. They're young. They are millionaires. They're making their money. They carry Liberia, because when you talk about Alfonso Davis, the next thing coming, the son of Liberia. They're pushing our country.
Alfonso say he giving his money to charity. What did him do with money?
I'm proud of those guys.
Giving him money from the World Cup to charity.
I'm proud of those guys.
But Mariah, that is the Mariah. Thank God that Alfonso doing it, but Alfonso own way of giving back.
I know. I'm just asking.
We decide what you want to do with your money. Why you want to bring politics? Why you want to bring politics in this thing, Mariah? Why you want to bring politics in this thing? Mariah, why you want to bring politics in this thing? Tim we are playing for himself. If he gave back the Liberia, that's fine. Alfonso playing for himself. If he gave back, that's fine. But then you bring in politics as if to say.
I think on a quiet. I think Tim got some project like bro, but quietly. Because he came in last time. I saw him with some. You
don't force me into the conversation. Guys, y'all have a good night.
Last year,
Christmas. You want me to say something I don't want to say? Let me go.
Team in Liberia, what team were doing last year Christmas. So we're not going to. I don't want to play politics with the team doing a lot.
We are grateful to have Liberians in the World Cup. We are grateful to have Liberians in the World Cup, and it's a good thing to just say out there. Shout out to Tim Weah. Shout out to Alfonso. We are proud of you guys.
There's another Liberian guy too. I think. There's
what's his name?
Haji.
Haji
Yeah,
Wright.
I think for United States too. Haji is there. You know, our boys are doing great. So let's
And,
leave it.
America is playing Friday. They play England. That's a big game. I pray that they win. America is playing Friday.
Our boys.
You know.
And let me say this to you. Official of the government were on the field chain Alfonso out today. They chain Alfonso out today.
Kev, you want us to Kev, let's go ahead. But let's go back.
Alfonso,
I'm gonna pay for that VIP ticket.
My man, let me control my show. Let me control my show. Alfonso, thank you. Alfonso, thank you. And I also say thanks to
the president saying Qatar, why you go watch it?
I would say thank you to the government of Liberia for supporting Alfonso with some of the officials supporting him on the stadium today. Thank you. Our boys are going. Let's support our boys. Let's support them. We don't
if
care.
Government official, I won't even be people show me on that show me on social media.
Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Thank you, the government official that supported Alfonso today. Thank you. Let's move ahead. Anybody got closing? Let's do our closing and let's move on. Let me tell you, yesterday I was hungry. I left. I'm hungry today. I'll leave the show.
You moderating. You can leave.
Let's do our closing.
We already say happy birthdays, happy pre-birthday.
I'm that you
Dr. Richardson, do your closing, my dear.
Thank you for a great show, Kev. We had an opportunity to hear you express your views here. Although we share different views, but this is democracy. That's the beauty of Spoon. That's the beauty of democracy. And thank you for the free publicity from Mr. Cummings. Every time you speak about him, tons and tons and tons of Liberians listen to his name. They hear his name. As you know, Spoon is very big in Liberia. We experienced that. So thank you for the publicity. In other news, 4 Liberian women that I travel with in Liberia, Cindy, Amanda, L. Louise, and I file a complaint to NEC on behalf of people in the diaspora, external voters, asking NEC to provide the necessary approach for us to vote outside of the country. The president did pass a law allowing Liberians who are outside of the country to vote. So now we're asking NEC to provide provisions for us to be able to do that, like other African countries are doing right now, as in the case of places like Botswana, places like Kenya. They allow their external diaspora citizens to vote. So I want to say kudos to Amanda Wright, kudos to Cindy, kudos to Eloise and myself for filing that complaint. You will see article in Front Page Africa shortly. Following that, Mr. Cummings is making a lot of gain. He'll be in Grand Ambassador in December.
But we're not going to get an ANC announcement yet, Dr. Richardson.
Okay.
You get an announcement that you didn't pay for.
Well, Mr. Cummings a lot here will not talk about what he paid for here now.
He was moderated. Sometimes when you come with that slight announcement, then you got to pay.
What slight announcement is that?
We don't even know what you're talking about your court case. You took NEC to court?
I didn't take them to court. I filed on BC. You're not even listening. But anyway, for those of you who are listening, thank you, audience, because you're not listening.
Dr. Richardson, I don't want to bring another thing, but we'll talk about it tomorrow. You guys went at the Nancy Pelosi office. You'll say you guys are American, so I don't know why you guys trying to find.
By your back. Yeah, I'm a good man. Yeah, I'm a good man.
What is your American man talking about this? Please.
Your state lawmaker, didn't your state president sign a law that gave
you see you're American?
What did they say? What citizenship law, Kev?
I can't do it. And I even funny, Kev.
They declare?
You don't know you got citizenship law?
No, he's saying, Mariah. I don't even.
You know when you're required to declare?
You declare?
When you contesting. That's what you
No,
require to declare. Have you read that law?
people going up
You
front.
require to declare 1 year
People going up
before
front.
Yeah,
for
Mara, tell him.
contesting, and
No,
not for voting
people
purposes.
passing around say they're American, then they want to talk
And they
about.
are Liberians too. You
Exactly.
don't need a dual citizenship law.
Exactly.
They
And
put a-
considering that your president
put a-
signed that law, we want to have the mechanism to vote outside of the country.
What are you
It's
talking
very
about?
expensive for me to travel there to Liberia to go and register, and then kind of go back again to register to vote. That's
Okay.
a lot. It's costly for
Okay.
Liberians.
So, have you want Liberians to vote in the
Okay.
election?
Okay.
We are one
I
vote for a
will
party.
go to Tony last
We
to.
vote for a
I'll
party.
go to Tony last to close. Mariah close. Then you get it. I'll go to Tony last to close. Mariah close.
Anyways, I think that's a great step, Dr. Richardson and the rest of the other ladies, yes, Cindy. And I think Liberians who are dual citizens living in the US and other parts of the world should support this because there is a law that says that recognizes dual citizenship. That law also recognizes Timothy Weah as a dual citizen and also provides that as citizens of Liberia, you have a constitutional right to vote in your elections. And it is the responsibility of the government to provide the avenue for citizens any part of the world to vote in the elections. What Kev is talking about, the declaration, it's only related to those citizens who want to contest, those dual citizens who want to contest. You have to do your declaration 1 year before. So it does not apply to dual citizens who want to participate and vote in the elections. So Kev, please read the dual citizenship law again and understand what it says and what the requirements are, and what the rights and duties and responsibilities of dual citizens across the world are. So I think it is it's in the right direction, and it helps dual citizens outside of the country to save money. To not take time off. You know, in the West, people will have to take time off from work. Vacation times are limited. All of these logistical and operational issues is addressed when they can have the latitude to vote where they are, whether it's in the US or in Europe. And I think, Kev, as the mouthpiece for the government, this is something you should support because it will also enable you to vote from the comfort of your home in Maryland. And it is your right as a Liberian living outside of Liberia to participate in your electoral process. So I think everyone who means well, unless the government was not um, honest about passing this dual citizenship law, and they're not truthful to the Liberian people to ensure that the constitutional rights are protected, then they will challenge and denigrate and dismiss this complaint to the neck. And I think we should all support it. So kudos to
Thank
you.
you.
And I also know you're probably not the only people. I know there are others in the diaspora who've also expressed interest in having the NEC provide the necessary logistical support for them to be able to vote where they are in the elections because they're Liberians. On the show tonight, unfortunately, it bordered a comedy session, but I think some of the major issues that needed to have been discussed were discussed. It's clear that our moderator tonight has an absurd obsession with the ANC and Mr. Cummings. Clearly, Mr. Cummings has set himself apart as the alternative, and that scares them. The CPP has been working and strong, and it scares them as well. So we understand the propaganda that now Mr. Cummings is treasurer ANC, Mr. Cummings is IT man for ANC, Mr. Cummings is everything for ANC. Probably that's how they run the CDC, and that's why they were able to do the midnight convention, and people in the absence were made stand-up bearers, and people were given roles to play while the delegates were watching Timothy Weah play sports and school goals as a distraction from the process. So we understand that when they do these things, they expect that other parties will do similar things. But the issue of accountability, the issue of trust, the issue of transparency and openness is something that the ANC is very clear about, and Mr. Cummings is very clear about that. Thank you again to everybody. I may not be on on Friday and Sunday, but I'll be here on Saturday. And I look forward to a fruitful discussion. Lastly, before I leave, happy pre-birthday to my dad. Councillor Lawrence Sekula will be celebrating his birthday on Monday, November 28th. We love you, and we pray for long, 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 long life. Thank you.
Something.
Well, Kev, thanks for moderating and stepping in the talk, and you did a great job. At least we all know that everyone on this platform can step up and do this moderating. And I know I'll monitor your first topic about the sanction business, but like I don't know what people keep on saying that people on sanction you can't speak to them, you can't talk to them because people on sanction have since the guy on I think including Prince Johnson, I've talked to all of them. So that doesn't I mean just the only thing that the sanction is clear that the reason why we're sanctioning is they're all cleared in the release. The only thing is that uh, the 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 Liberian government they had an obligation to dispatch or get like I just heard tonight, which I thought that would come from the Minister of Justice or the Minister of Information to have announced to the Liberian people say, look, we sanctioned those are our sanctions. We already made representation to the U.S. government seeking clarity about the sanctioned officials, but we are not only we heard it tonight. Through which Kevin not an official spokesperson of the government, but he said it tonight. But that should have come from the Minister of Information, the Minister of Justice, or even the President to announce to the Liberian people that they have requested clarity from the U.S. government. But the sanctions, we all know there are process of that happen can get delisted. And by the way, like the guy said, they're not stopping people from running in our elections. They're not going to Liberian elections. Uh, clearly support them. But here's the issue part. Why the constitution let's say when you send somebody, the president must fire that person or suspend the person. But then why the president took a point instead to fire them or suspend them and then later on ask them, they resign. So why? They never say they should do it. The US government say this, but the government say we've suspended it, then they put resign. That's another question. But I think that they have the right to run. But if the US government is saying that, they tell you, say, look, anywhere our money is being put, if we put money in election commission or any place, if you guys, those who are sanctioned, we're going to have access to that money or benefit from it, then we have issues. That one thing the government library will have to take a look at. But for now, yeah, they can run, they can contest, and so forth. But I would not start speaking to them. There are those who are new before and we should talk. I would still talk to them. Yeah, once I'm not doing business with them, that would like where they were accused for any sanction. I'm like that's the question, you know. But I hope and pray that the Liberian government can really make a true representation about the sanction. And it's good that the president is coming to Washington D.C. And hopefully, when the president faces like the National Press Club in Washington D.C., where all you have journalists from all around the world in Washington, in America, at that press conference, the question will come about. So the president should be prepared. When the National Press Club in Washington D.C. Meets him, he'll be prepared to answer such a question. So I hope he's prepared, and I hope his team is already here making the ground, working the ground for him. But besides that, we pray and hope that things will work out well, and we pray for our country, for the Liberians who are listening to the radios that are complaining that they are not being paid or whatever the case. We pray that the government will find a remedy to the situation and make things happen for them as we approach the holiday. And besides that, let us pray for our country. We got 390 more days to the elections, and we're looking forward to it. Monitoring elections carefully, and we expect a lot of big things to happen. Things will happen in our country that we never seen before. And so let's continue to pray for our country to have a peaceful election. Okay. Happy Thanksgiving, and Dr. Richardson, happy Thanksgiving. Mariah, okay, you like bro, but Thanksgiving for us here. So you're finna have your Thanksgiving. Aaron and good day. But happy birthday to my mother. She's in Kakata, Dorothy Ben Everett. Tomorrow is her birthday. I'm the first of her 7 kids that are alive today. And happy birthday, oh mom, and check your send wave in the next few hours. You get see something that kind, mama. Well, happy birthday.
Happy
God bless you.
birthday
Tommy,
to your mom,
you,
Tommy.
Happy birthday to the Oma.
yeah, Tommy, you brought her picture so we can put it up, put the Oma
Good
picture
son,
up.
Tommy.
Yeah, you know. But Aaron, good day, you guys. Thank you for holding it down.
let me say this, guys. Thank you, Mariah. Mariah, I agree with you that every Liberian, wherever you are, you should have the chance to vote in the coming election, because every vote matters. So I agree with you. I will support that all Liberians should take part in the election. I don't care where you are in the world, you should take part. So I agree with you. I also agree with you that politicians should declare. The only question I'm asking, if Mr. Comey has declared his citizenship. If not,
Is Mr. Cummings a dual citizen?
and Mr. Comey,
Everyone, brother.
The French citizen, has he declared?
and Mr. Cummings is a
Sarah, do you
U.S. citizen.
close the show?
If Mr. Cummings declare, that will be fine. He's a U.S.
Yeah,
citizen.
the show is over. Let's go. I'm
The show
going.
over there. We are not declared.
Right, Mr. Cummings.
He cannot just dual. He triple. He French, he American, he Liberian.
I'm asking you. I'm just saying to you.
I gotta go cook.
Mr. Cummings declare his citizenship. If Mr. Cummings declares, fine. So we can show that Mr. Cummings is an American citizen. We do have the evidence.
It will show that Joe, we are a French and American.
So, thank you, guys.
Declare together.
Mariah, next month.
Bye, Ken. I'm not coming again. Don't. I'll call you.
All right, we'll talk. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so folks, there you have it. Spoon Talk. The entire team headed by the CEO Stanton Witherspoon and the entire team tomorrow. Like you heard from the CEO, there won't be a show here because of the holiday, Thanksgiving. But on Friday, it will be another edition of the program. Again, you can join us. We hope to be back, with all of our equipment. It's quite difficult these days with some of the twists and turns we're doing here. But just because of you, we are here. My name is Aaron Kuban. Thanks to James Gude Flomo, who has been holding it down in Europe. And thanks to all of you who've been following. Bye-bye from my end.